There we go. Yes, and what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. This is the morning roast, and I'm, of course, Sugar Chris. And with me is Mr. Sam.
What's up? Good morning, everyone.
And Amanda B. He's confused by the notification start time and current time. Put your address on shake it tail feather grass. Yeah, I was late getting rolling with this and sending out links and everything. I haven't been feeling the hottest since I went to the con on Saturday, and so I was in the bathroom, and honestly, I haven't got much sleep today. So I was a little late getting the links out to everybody and stuff. So I had to I had to change the start time back, and so I've been waiting on everybody to get here and get everything going. So I did send out the link to our guest, and I just sent him a message letting him know that we were starting it, and whenever they were ready, they could go ahead and hop in and join us, and everything. So we'll just be waiting on them, and while we're waiting, I can tell you all about how the con went and everything. We got Dragon Multimedia. He says, "How is everybody?" Oh, doing all right, doing all right. Just a little bit of a stomach issues. Other than that, doing all right. All right. Where is my box? Oh, I did get to read some books while I was on the way to the con.
Oh yeah, did you read some CG books?
I read The Good Night, and what else did I read? I finished reading Doom Fate, and I started to read. Was it the second of Magic Comp? I'm not sure. I think it might have been the second one of Magic Comp, but I started to not feel so great, so I stopped.
So you started to read Magic Up, but you haven't read the Lost Pages.
I'll get around to it. Don't worry about it. Calm down, Sam. Come on.
Yeah,
I can only read so many books at once.
Yeah, but you're skipping ahead.
Soul says, "Welcome to the Morning Rest, where we bring you feathers instead of fur, and booty instead of tails. We're changing for good measurements." Good morning, Chris, Sim, and chat.
Oh, got a message from Soul. So yeah, well, Chris is typing. How's everybody been doing? I mean, the book are gonna be on their way.
What, Sim?
My books are ready, and they'll be on their way soon.
Awesome. Which ones? Man. I'm tired. Let's see. An intro as a guest, but with Sam. I guess it's the first time for everything. Oh, right. We might not have a guest, actually.
Why not?
Oh, because I thought I had put 11 a.m. EST when I first talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I didn't, because they just put up, so 11 a.m. Eastern time? We're in Arizona. ... I was like, oh, crap.
Oh, dude, just give me 1 second. I just need to call the printer to confirm something, and it's on this way already. So just give me a sec. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. So we might not have a guest today. If not, that's all right. I'll reschedule with them and get it all set up. It won't be the end of the world. I thought I had clarified the time period, the time zone, but maybe I didn't. Let's see. Oh, we got Greg here with us. The alpha male champion himself. He says, "Good morning." CG business study, a sequence master, CG commuter in that time zone. Yeah, I'm in that time zone, so that's what I always use. I could have swore I put EST when I first talked with him, but maybe not, and maybe I didn't. And stupid Chris, I did stuff. Let me get my one box from the con. Yeah, so I went to a con on Saturday. It was a Mountaineer con down in Morgantown, which was actually really nice because it was only 2 hours away. So it was quite a nice change of pace to actually only take 2 hours to get to something. It's like, oh, whoop, they're here, as opposed to 3.5. And I actually kind of liked it. It wasn't a big con like Pittsburgh. People weren't packed together. It was a nice space, and it was there was celebrities there, but it was like a bunch of like Power Ranger people. I remember my brother wanted to meet Patrick Dante, which is one of the guys that played in like Little Nicky and stuff like that. And okay, sorry, I keep getting distracted because I'm trying to communicate with the guests, the potential
And
guests
I'm
anyway.
back, and everything's done.
Oh, good,
Part of the
excellent.
payment is done, and the books are on their way. They'll be here in the next few hours before 5 o'clock. All the books and the prints.
Oh, okay.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Hold on. No, I can.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, oh man, I said all this stuff and nobody heard me.
No, it was just. I guess it was just a problem with my headset because I muted everything. But yeah, everything's in. It's coming. Can't wait.
Let's see. It says, yeah, us East Coast, the U.S. revolves around us.
And I agree right there with what Amanda B says. Just wanted to relate to this crowd that May 1st is the most important day of the year. Yep, it's my birthday, Amanda B's birthday. And is it Yodam? I think it was. Anyways, we're 3 in the chat here that are celebrating our birthday on May 1st. And, yo.
Story of Dave's Facebook.
Where is Bristol? It's on its way here. Can't freaking wait.
I personally find that t-shirt offensive, but it's among the many things I can forgive because it's Chris. What? It's Roshi!
Yeah, but it says Dragon Ball Z on it.
I don't care about the Z. It's Roshi, boy.
You don't like Dragon Ball Z, but you're wearing it.
I wear it because it's Roshi, and Roshi's predominantly Dragon Ball. That's all that matters.
Because I prefer Dragon Ball Z, but for somebody like you need to stay on point.
Z sucks when it comes to Dragon Ball series. Dragon Ball's better.
I don't know. You say it sucks. You're wearing the T.
Yeah, because one of the best characters of the whole show is on it. But I was saying about going to that con, Sim.
Yep.
And it was pretty nice. It was like a smaller con, and so and it wasn't packed like the Pittsburgh one was. There was less, you had a lot of breathing room. Hopefully they were successful though, and they were able to, so they could do another one. And it was only 2 hours away as opposed to 3.5. The only celebrities they really had there was a bunch of Power Rangers people. Patrick Dante, one of the actors from like Little Nicky and those types of comedies. Grandma's Boy. Yes, those kind of movies. The guy who's like the voice actor for Riddler off Batman the Animated Series was there. I'm trying to think who else was there. There was some other people. I think there was some people that my brother wanted to meet that wasn't going to be there till tomorrow. Flash Gordon, that's who it was. Flash Gordon is going to be there, but it wasn't until Sunday. But I mostly, of course, I didn't pay attention to all that stuff. You know, the celebrities. I was there to meet indie guys and see what they had for sale. And I ended up meeting a new indie guy. And I got his books, but they're out in my brother's car because they didn't want to, you know, we didn't show up. We didn't come home till like 8 p.m. and it was raining. So they didn't want to bring anything in. And I haven't got to see my brother to get my stuff out of his car, out of his truck. So it's all still in there. But he was a really nice guy, this new fella. Talked to him for a nice little while. And he does stuff on Kickstarter. He did a book called, he said he did a book called Zombie Highway, which I got the book. And that was one of his first things he did. And he's been doing it for quite some time. He's been doing comics. So he should, you know, if he comes on, that'll be great. He can give some advice to folks about what not to do and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Hodson was there, Eric Hodson.
Oh,
yeah, got to bump into him again. We took a picture together. He put it on his Twitter, I think. And we talked for a while. And I ended up buying one of his sketch cover comics. It was a She-Hulk comic, and I think he called it like High Noon or something, and it was like She-Hulk and Captain Marvel kind of standing off, and the perspective was like right where their butts are. So you're saying it's like She-Hulk, and it's like her butt, and then you flip it over to the other side, and it's Captain Marvel's butt. He had another one. It was Street Fighter. And it's like Chun-Li, and she's doing like a pose, you know? And then you flip it over, and it's once again her butt, and it says like you win on her side. Such silliness. And I talked to him for a while. I ended up buying like something like 90-something comics. Or something, because it was I got a really good deal, so I couldn't resist. I got some of them here, but I think the rest of them still sitting out in the truck. I got the people from Heroinberg was there, so I met they had a new creator there. I think she also plays in the Heroinberg, you know, the show that they do. She did a book. And it has to do with like music and everything. And she has like QR codes like throughout the book. And when you scan them, it plays like a song that I guess is like kind of, you know, like a playlist. I thought that was really neat. Okay. But what else was there? There's a bunch of stuff. Like so I met them again, and they're nice enough to give me a movie poster of the Heroinberg stuff. Said it was there was only like 100 or so of them made, so that was really nice. And what else did I see? I bought a bunch of ton of comics. I bought a book. We were talking the other day about the Romance of the Three Kingdoms with and I got that. I seen that there. I was like, ooh, yes. And and we were talking about Dynasty Warriors 4 and with OAC and the other day, and it was there. It was there, but it wasn't PlayStation 2. It was original Xbox, so I didn't get it. If it was PlayStation 2, I'd have got it for him because it wasn't that expensive. And then there was some people set up. They had manga for sale, but it was for like $3. So I guess it was like, you know, already they read them and then they were selling them, getting rid of them. But they were random volumes. They weren't like in order or nothing. But they had these Prison School, 5 and 6. Yeah, they Prison School 5 and 6, and I think I have 1 through 4. So I was like, oh, perfect. That's perfect. These are the ones I need, and they were only $3. for that. Yeah, they were originally like 20.
You didn't find my Trigon that's missing?
What?
You didn't find some
No,
Trigon?
no, there was no Trigon. There was a bunch of. It was just a bunch of randomness, and I've never heard most of them. This one, Knights of Sidonia.
I only have 2 Trigon missing from my collection to be filled.
This one looked interesting, but it's volume 8. I never heard of it. Knights of Sidonia.
I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's an actual series I think on Netflix, wasn't it? Or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I was like, hey, this looks kind of neat. So I got it. It's volume 8 though, so I'll have to go see if I can find volume 1 and give it a shot. And if I like it, I'll get the others. But I thought for $3, I should just kind of grab anything that interests me for that price. And then I met like a guy at a stall, a vendor, and he was selling like unbagged comics. These are ones I'd have to sit down and do a separate stream for, especially with, I'm sure Marinus would want to see them. And they're unbagged, and he was selling them for $2 each. But since I got so many, I got them like 50% off. So that's where I got like, I think when I first bought the first batch, it was like 76 comics for like $60. And it's a bunch of different ones like Justice League. I got some Defenders. I got the thing you'd care about, Sim. I got a ton of like Walt Simonson Thor and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
those stores.
There was a bunch of them. There was a bunch of Thor for like Walt Simonson and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and get those. The only thing there was some Invaders, Mighty Thor, Defenders. I think there was a few Avengers I grabbed, Doctor Strange, all that stuff. So yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff, but I'll do my own stream for all that. For all that con and such. Set that down. Oh, what's that? Nice. Yeah, nice and thick.
You got all of this in the back. Oh, dude, I got yeah, I love that stuff.
Oh,
I even got this from Walt Simonson.
is that our guest? It's showing it's loading. Oh, nice, Orion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Can you hear us, Mr. Cole? I don't know. He's still loading in. Until he fully loads in, I'll just leave him in the back room. Let's see. Let me check the chat while we're waiting here. I haven't paid no attention for a while. Where did I leave off at? Oh man, there's I missed out on a lot here.
Yeah, you haven't
Okay.
been keeping up with the chat, man.
Yeah, Marinus is here. How you
Yep.
doing, sir?
And Soul told him that he can't wait to see him get his ass kicked in Valheim.
Well, that's because he's kind of cowardly. He has no sense of adventure. So if he was more like me and Soul, he'd be crushing skulls. He's selling pork beef burn on May 1st.
I don't know, but me and Chris have been playing Deep Rock Galactic lately, and it's freaking awesome. I love that game.
Yes, we have.
I need to try that Valheim soon, but that Deep Rock Galactic is really freaking sweet.
No celebrity sounds like the best con ever. Yeah, there was very few there. Like they had a whole celebrity thing on the back, but it was not like big names or nothing. At least not to me, anyway. And people complaining about the flying fighters and Crouching Dragon Hidden Tiger. They weren't thinking of a Dragon Ball, which made flying martial arts look silly long ago already. That's right.
There you go. 125 sketch card.
That's crazy, Sim.
All done
Let me
and
see
ready
if
for the books.
See, I don't know if you could hear us, Mr. Cole, but your thing's still just loading up. Like, it's not coming in. I don't know what to do. Here, maybe I'll message them on Facebook here. Here. Oh, let me mute myself so you guys don't.
So we don't what? Okay. Oh, forgot. I need to melt those. I did those, and I forgot that I did. I need to meld them to Matt. Here are the 3 sketch cards for Butch
All right.
Cleaver.
Nice.
Yeah, I forgot I had done those. I need to meld them to him.
Mr. Yoda. Mr. Other Chris. He says, "Hey, y'all. No, don't you bring that up, Fisk. he is not R.I.P. Okay, he's gonna be fine.
Mr. Sporling?
I'm gonna spend like the next 2 weeks anxiety ridden over Mr. Sporling's fate. He's gonna be okay.
Who's
I'm
Mr.
gonna keep him
Sporling?
safe. Mr. Sporling is my faithful stalwart companion with Acadia in the Pathfinder stuff.
Okay, that stuff. What's the name of your character again?
Acadia, the House of Hostess.
The House of Hostess?
The House of Hostess.
Was that a pun as hostess that all their thing is filled with shrooms?
Well, no. It was just a name brand I thought of. It sounded nice.
And would that explain why he's shaped like a Twinkie?
What? Like a Twinkie? Come on now. Don't insult my boy.
Like it's a Twinkie with a sombrero on. Might as
How
well
dare
make it
you?
Mexican.
It's not a sombrero.
That's true. It's the mushroom cap.
Gosh.
What? You're so sensitive.
All right, let me see. I'm trolls. Mariner says prison school is crazy. Yeah, I find it funny. Yeah, I find prison school pretty funny. That and like One Punch Man.
I need to watch that second season of One Punch Man.
They look like $3 because they look like trash books. Let's see. Soul says he can't watch Trigun anymore because the image of Wimpsit from Blood Hunt creeps in every time.
Good, so I did my job right.
Oh, God. Mariner says the Justice League is his favorite team books from the 90s. I am a fan of the JSA more than the JLA. Like All-Star Comics, stuff like that. Let's see.
So you're telling me that
they're giving you shit, Sam.
I'm not seeing that shit because that's just irrelevant and stupid. Dressed like a vampire. He's not even dressed like a vampire at the end. Like the.
Oh,
people are just jealous.
Pink.
And
how dare you, Chris? What? How dare me? What? I didn't know nothing.
And let's add to that. That gun demon kind of looks like Vincent. Just saying.
That's a job.
Oh yeah, Greg, we agree on that one, and that we've talked about it. Like Wildcats and Cyberforce were his favorite books in the 90s. Yeah, they were good, dude. They were the top ones in the Image when they came out.
Oh, Cyber Force was a good one.
Like, to be honest, like when they came out, I was like I was not on Spawn as much. Like, to me, it was Wildcats and Cyberforce. Cyberforce was awesome.
Great.
Did you ever get to read that number 0? Like, it came out in the image, the special book called Image something. I have to find it. I have it. But then they released it in one trade, and where they gave you the origin of their technology. If you've never seen it, it's pretty good.
Hey, Johnny Cage! She says, prison school. Bonk, go to Horty.
No, it was not Darker Image, Greg. Darker Image was the one with Bloodshot. It was the Image celebration for the yearly thing. They had a hardcover. That's where that idiot Larson gave the origin for Savage Dragon. Darker Image was where they introduced Bloodshot. Not Bloodshot. What was his name? Death Blow. Death Blow. Max.
Yeah, I have Darker Image.
Well, the Rob Liefeld Lobo. I forgot what his name was.
Mm-hmm.
Blood Wolf, I think it was.
Yeah, it's like Blood Wolf. He had like orange hair. It went
Yeah.
straight up or something.
It looked like a fucking dildo on his head. Or, Marge. It was technically Marge hair.
Oh, Mr. Fisk says he's considering making a digital edition PDF perk for his project. It's cheaper and people can get it quicker. Going to try to figure out how to stamp them. Okay. Nothing wrong with the digital option. Ah, hello, sir.
How's it going, sir?
Oh, going great. See, let me see if it's different for you. See, there's your Mr. Cole, but it's just showing a loading screen for me. I don't know if he can hear us.
Yeah, I can't. I see the same thing as a loading screen. I'm gonna try to message him here to see what's going on. If he can, if he can hear us or anything.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna leave him in the back until we get to figuring out what's going on with him.
Okay,
I don't want
no
to
problem.
have it up and then like like camera comes on and he's doing something or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to have you guys on. I apologize for the issue there with the time zones.
Oh, no problem. It was my mistake. I totally overlooked the Eastern time, and I'm thinking local all the time. So, but yeah, it's still it's still okay. Yeah, we got it.
Oh yeah. So let me go ahead and I'll bring up. Where is it? I'll bring up the Indiegogo page for y'all here. And oh gosh, dang it! I forgot to turn this off. Come on, phone.
Can you
If I
guys
don't
hear
turn
me?
this. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, because I've been having an issue with that. Everything's fixed. Good. And welcome, Rob. Is that?
Yep.
Rob.
Hey,
Welcome to the show. So, Feather
thanks
of
for having me.
Onyx,
Feathers of Onyx, like the bird.
or the what's his name? Rap guy called Onyx back then. I don't know if you remember him in the 90s. Was doing the Rhapsody with L
Yeah.
Cool J, where it was a mix of hip hop and classical.
Right.
I'll
right.
never forget.
Yeah.
Onyx was one of the best ones in there. Don't know what happened with the guy. Sorry, totally sidetracked, but yeah.
Okay. Mr. Oh, okay, there we go.
What's up,
Hello,
Cole?
hello.
There he is. What's up, man?
All right, can you?
No, it seems
Let
like
me-
it's
let me
mic
move you
problems.
down. There we go. Put Sim on the bottom.
How's that look?
All right, wait.
Good.
All right, sounds good. Can you hear us? I don't
Can
know
you
if he
hear us all right, Cole?
Can you hear us, sir? All right.
Mic check, testing 1, 2, 3.
We hear him. Can
Yeah,
you hear
All
us?
right. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got you. Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, we hear you. You don't hear us. So
Yeah, I don't think he can hear us.
yeah, but I'll tell him in the chat because right now we're all trying to waiting for him to hear us or something.
Alright. Oh, Mr. Fist says followed on Twitter. Awesome. Yeah, he has followed Spiral Wing Comics. Good.
There you go.
Sweet.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm not seeing anything on this end.
Can you see? Can you hear us though now?
Let's double check something.
Yeah, I can hear Cole. I can hear you guys. I can see Cole too, but I don't know if
Yeah.
he can hear
It's
us.
just him that can hear us for the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he can hear us.
Negative, sir.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, I just messaged him. He said he can't hear us.
Oh, dang it. No, and I think he just froze. Yep, there he went.
Yeah, but don't worry, it does that when you turn off your camera sometimes.
Oh no. I'm glad. I am glad this is happening so everybody will quit giving me hell about my bad computer boomer problems.
That's not gonna change anything. That because you found somebody that's more that's worse than you.
Oh let's see. Somebody say cheesecake.
You know, you've been at this for more than a year, dude. You shouldn't be boomering that bad anymore.
I don't want to hear it. I was doing that Pathfinder stream before we started. I was trying to get it to where my avatar was the Mushroom Man from the Pathfinder, we're doing, and I had no idea how to do it. Like I kept going on the Twitter Messenger where Johnny Cage had sent me the Mushroom Man picture, and I had no idea how to turn it to make it work. And they were trying to explain it to me, and I was doing such a terrible job. They're like, "Have you used your computer before?" I was like, just to play games pretty much and do these streams. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh Lord. So says I can hear but can't see Sim. Thanks for the help, Saul.
and you have Chris Fist that just okay boomered you.
That's what. Yeah, so the chat's definitely liking what they're seeing with this campaign. they like the booty.
Yeah,
Oh,
we make sure we have a good amount of butt shots in there. You know, nothing obnoxious though. But yeah, if it was up to Cole though, he would probably have every other panel of butt shot of Zura.
Oh Lordy. Oh wait, I see him there in the back room again.
Okay, how about now?
Can you hear us? We can see you. We can hear you.
Yeah, can see him and hear him.
Yeah, but I don't think he can
Okay,
hear
it
us.
says I'm here, but I can't see or hear you guys.
Dang on. I wonder why he can't hear or see us, but we can hear and see him.
Yeah, I'm letting him know we can hear
You
you.
gotta love technology. You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe it's I don't see or hear anybody.
Maybe it's because of his web browser that he needs to go. You have that little camera in your search.
The infinite spinning beach ball of never endingness.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know nothing about this stuff.
Maybe
I had to fight with my browser for a minute just to get my Bluetooth headset to work. So,
but sometimes you have to go into the StreamYard setting. You go into the audio, and you have to make sure that your speakers, your headsets on.
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you'll go on your speakers or something.
All right, let's see if we can get this to work here.
This says turn your speakers on. Then he says update Chrome. I'm waiting for somebody to say, "Have you tried turning it off and back on again?" Let's see. I should. Well, while we're working on this, I guess I should try to talk some more about the book.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Rob,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do you do? What are you doing on this campaign?
Well, I'm the artist, and we're the publisher basically. Cole came to me with the idea for the story about a little over. It was around 2 years ago. He initially approached me just to draw the character Zora. She was initially a mascot. Ben's going to be a mascot character for his band that he was in, and
Mm-hmm.
he approached a couple different artists before me, to kind of do different editions of it to see which one the group liked. They liked mine the most, so we kind of, went with my designs for a little while for just like, random, promo shots and pinups and stuff like that. And then Cole wanted to kind of do a little bit more with her. He wanted to kind of go into the, kind of make a comic book for her. So I helped him develop the script for that. I mean, it was all his idea. I just kind of gave him pointers, and kind of roughed it out for him, or help him chisel it down a little bit so we can kind of put it into comic book form. And then we think we got started on the official Feathers project about around late last year.
All right, let's try this one more time.
And then around I think that was May when we got around to launching the Kickstarter for it. So it's been a little journey with it so far. But I do the artwork, the line work, and the book production. And then my colorists are Federico and his wife Raylene. They're over in the Philippines, so they take care of all the color work that you guys are seeing in the story there.
Oh, okay.
So we're a small team, but small but mighty. Yeah.
Well, that's a nice thing about all these indie stuff. Small guys wearing many hats, but they're getting to achieve their dreams and make up for the things they want to do.
Yeah.
Now you said you're a potion, so this probably isn't your first rodeo then, right? You've put out other books.
Oh yeah, I do two titles under Spiral Link myself. Hooded Cobra and Succubus. Succubus, we just ran a campaign for that book end of last year. It was like right around September when that wrapped up. So yeah, and I'm on the issue 4. I'm going into issue 5 for Succubus, and I'll be doing issue 7 of Hooded Cobra. So yeah, I've been at it for a little while.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Are you doing those through Indiegogo or is that Kickstarter?
The Succubus book was a Kickstarter. Both Succubus and Hooded Cobra were kind of on the same campaign. So yeah, that was all Kickstarter. This is the first Indiegogo campaign we've run.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't keep up as much as with Kickstarter as I do Indiegogo. So a lot of times stuff falls through the cracks and I miss them. So I must have missed that campaign.
There's so much that goes through Kickstarter. There's so many comments on Kickstarter right now. It's difficult to keep up with, but it's a great thing to see though. All the indie books that's running through Kickstarter and getting funded and being able to get printed, because a lot of those books on there, you would never hear of. You would never see in a comic book shop or even catch at a show anywhere. If it wasn't for Kickstarter. So yeah, that's all good things.
Yeah. I've been loving seeing this surge of indie creativity that's going on.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, but it's also fun that for once we also have people interested in new IPs, because before you would try and show your characters and people would always end up going, "Do you have any Batman? Do you have any Superman? Come on, tell me you have Wolverine." But look at that character. Now, I remember, the last time I went in 2018 to a con, before the entire COVID thing, you would go to a con and people would go you're so used to having having to put a little bit of Wolverine or Batman around. Now that people actually come and go, do you have a character of your own? I'm like, oh, this is a huge shift. We've never had that before. The only time that had something like that similar happen was back when Image started, but even there you had to be a big name, otherwise it was not going to stick. Now you're at a con and people ask you if you have your own characters, so that is a huge shift in the comic book industry.
Oh no, poor Cole, he's back to the loading screen.
Now it's
he's reverted. He's went back a step.
But
We were making progress,
determined.
Cole.
you know,
Yeah,
one thing that
he's
one thing that comes
I
out of
tried to
this.
get him to try a different browser. Yeah.
One thing you need to take out of this. Cole is not a fucking quitter.
That's right. He's persistent.
He's a team
No,
player
yeah.
and he's not a quitter.
Yeah, nobody here is a quitter, man. No, we don't quit. We power through that shit.
Back feathers of Onyx, so Cole can get better equipment.
Well, yeah, Cole is kind of here with us, kind of. He's kind of in and out, but yeah. We'll get him. We'll straighten him out here pretty soon.
Yeah. We'll get it figured out. No worries. Mr. Fix says the artwork and coloring is awesome.
I appreciate that. Yeah. We work pretty hard on it. But again, like this is not my first book with the color. It's like my colors team for this book. We've been working together on Succubus books, since the first issue.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of like at least 4 or 5 books in now. We kind of we got our rhythm and we really we work well together. So, but yeah, the pages on this thing turned out incredible. The covers turned out incredible. Like I could not be happier with it. Because for me, this is my first time doing a book that has mixed genre like this. So Feathers is kind of a mix between sci-fi and high fantasy. So a lot of I had a lot of different elements that I can kind of play with and kind of mix and match and put together and like come up with a unique look and feel to the story and the characters. So yeah, it was pretty fun for me. Federico, the colorist, he's always wanted to do a sci-fi fantasy book. So now it's his time to kind of get his feet wet with that, So yeah, but yeah, the pages and everything turned out great, and everybody that's kind of taking a look at it so far, they have nothing but great things to say. So
yeah, I mean the art was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was tempted, Sim, to do a Lola thumbnail and just put the thumbnail as her butt.
Just her butt.
Our fellow a lady that's always in the chat here, Lola Meets. That's what she does. Every thumbnail she does for her videos is just like a butt. It's a girl's butt.
Wasn't that the reason why people used to nickname her Lola Butts for a while?
Yeah, instead of like Lola Meets, it was Lola Butts.
A whole lot of butts.
But yeah, I did. Yeah, I haven't got to. I apologize. I haven't got to do like a good look at the campaign. I've been extremely busy here the past couple of days, but I did see. Where was it here? Yeah, this picture here. She had this big fancy gun, and you were saying about a mix of like sci-fi and high fantasy, and that was something I was kind of curious about because I'd seen her using like a sword and all, and then I see her using a gun.
Right.
And I was like, is there magic as well? Like.
Right. So if you could take a closer look at that gun, you can see there's a magic rune. We're kind of right in the middle of her, like right above her trigger finger. And
I see that there.
Yeah, that's her crossbow. So she's a monster. She's an assassin. She comes from an assassin guild, but she also kind of hunts and kills monsters. So this is her crossbow that she kind of uses that for. So what we did is we're kind of mixing technology with magic elements. So the crossbow works fine by itself, but when she puts that rune in there, it kind of gives it, extra kinetic kick and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we'll get into that whole magic rune stuff probably in the further issues like issue 2 and 3 and stuff. So yeah, but we started throwing those little little goodies in there early for the variant covers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Let me check real quick, see what people are saying. Joey Kate says colors on these are pretty. Did Rob do them too? You said that no, that was someone else there. What was right?
I'm sorry, for what?
The colors.
Right, yeah, I didn't color it. The colors are done by Federico Sosa. So Siak, he's in the Philippines. So yeah, he and his wife they're a colorist team. So he does finishes, he does flats, and yeah, I've been working with those two for I think around since about 2013, 2014. So we've been working together for a while.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. When you get a team like that together, you guys can kind of really get a feel for each other and make it really work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and since I started working with them, their work has been appearing on, on all kind of indie covers and stuff like that, and that's really made me happy to see, how much more work they've been getting since, starting since working with me and on my projects and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I
Is it
mean,
working
you
this
can
time,
see by
Cole?
the covers they're talented. Did we got Cole now?
What's
Is it
up,
working
guys?
now?
I can
Wait,
hear you now.
oh my
Oh!
Success.
That only took way too long.
Yeah.
And everybody watching the show.
Yeah, but I don't know if you heard, but like I said, it talks on your perseverance because you ain't no quitter.
Exactly.
Ain't no quitter.
I decided, you know what? The phone sucks. Let's try the laptop. And lo and behold, it works.
That's great, Cole. Glad to have you.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
And you're the writer, correct?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Well, how about you give us your pitch for the story then?
My pitch. All right. Well, my elevator pitch for Feathers of Onyx is we have a fantasy action story that takes place in the land of Estrella, and you can see the sweet covers right there. And there's a riot going on in the capital. Why? Because the common folk, the regular people like us, they're really mad because the powers that be, well, they're not the nicest. They're kind of being exploited quite unfairly. And as such, an assassin by the name of Zura Velostra, and quite possibly, a few others in cahoots, I don't know, you'll have to read it to find out, are taking advantage of the opportunity to get in there and remove this corrupt emperor from the throne and try to restore some order and some balance to the land of Estrella. But what could happen afterwards? I guess you just got to read it to find out.
Yeah, and Mr. Rob was telling us about how it was like a mix of like sci-fi and high fantasy. And he was
Correct.
pointing at some of the rooms and such.
It's got some Dungeons and Dragons, Frazetta-esque kind of fantasy going on, but there's also a sweet mix of technology and magic involved. So, yeah, it's so if you like science fiction, you like fantasy, you like both, I think you'll appreciate the aesthetics and the style of this one. I certainly do.
Yeah, I've always, yeah, that's something I want to ask you here. What is this? This like tree thing here? It holds this globe. Like, I looked at it, I was like, what is that? I'm curious.
Yeah, so that's just some of the weird elements you'll find in nature around the land of Estrella. This weird some weird trees that she'll do some training with.
Looks like she's standing on a world ovary.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right, that's what it looks like. Like, yeah.
Then you got big runes below that.
Right. And she kind of plugs the runes into the tree there, and they get their, they're kind of drawing power from the tree. Yeah. So we got some weird sci-fi and tech stuff going on, right?
Well, and also I think it ended up being the sci-fi fantasy element because I think originally it had a bit more of just kind of a pure fantasy thing, but that wasn't quite as fun. And as
sorry, it's the last comment. Soul going, Sir Fix a lot. I like ass too, and I cannot lie.
There we go. Yeah, Chris says he likes booty too. Well, I mean, booty is important. We all know that.
Booty is important in water.
Oh no! Don't get started on that because the jokes will be flying.
They always say, everybody likes boobies. Now, let me know what you like in a butt, and now we can discuss.
Well, it's a tried and true method that Butt does sell covers. The Butt on the cover it usually sell a book, but uh, what's a good what's a good fantasy book without a little butt cheek in it? It's boring. So we gotta have some butt cheek well represented in the story.
My anaconda don't want none unless you got
Well,
butts,
Right.
man.
Well, that is something I have noticed about like Kickstarter versus like Indiegogo. There's a lot
Mhm.
more comics there that have like uncensored covers
Mhm.
versus like Indiegogo.
Yeah, it's one of the things I think it's weird. Like the wokest platform is the one with the more sex related stuff.
I thought that was kind of interesting how like Indiegogo's the differences I guess between the two crowdfunders
Mm-hmm.
and the people that frequent them.
As
Yeah,
titties always
mhm.
sells.
Well,
Yeah, there's a lot more adult comics on Kickstarter, and I think that's a good thing because if you go anywhere, if you're a fan of adult comics, which a lot of us are, I myself, I love erotica, erotica from all over the world, but comics especially. So like with comics, adult comics, if you wanted to buy an adult comic, you either have to find them at your local comic book shop or try to order them from the actual publisher themselves online.
Or that
And the
that, that
problem with
black little room that's separated from the rest of the books.
Well, if they dedicated a room to it, most shops they'll just have maybe a long box or two of adult comics, and that's it. That's all you got. But yeah, and so if you wanted to find anything that was new and not hentai, you know what I mean, like Western adult comics or European adult comics, yeah, it was a hard press to find those, man. So now you can just get on Kickstarter and it's all kind of erotic comics from indie publishers and small press publishers too. So that's I thought that was pretty cool. That
Yeah.
you don't have to do like this big goose hunt for new adult comics. Yeah,
And erotica comics has been around for a long time. Like
long time.
in the
Yeah.
50s, 40s. Like it was
Yeah.
those little tiny like half size of an ash can, like smaller than an ash can comic, and they were selling like crazy. Like I discovered that during the research of when you do history research on comics and stuff like that, and you find out that like they say, like there's a joke going, every technology started by being porn.
Yep.
Like internet, any advancement in anything has always been, well, here's a little underground there. We'll do porn here, and then that picks up becomes something else.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing with the 3D Google glasses.
Yeah.
It's actually correct that the first big seller when the internet was becoming viable was X-rated content. So
yeah, they created those Google glasses first for porn. Then after that, they start commercializing them.
Well,
if you remember,
if you go
nobody
back to
knew
the
about it. It was
70s,
not something available. You could just get it from the porn thing.
Okay. What's that song? The internet is for porn.
Yeah, I love that.
If you go back to the 70s, internet, I mean, the porn was responsible for the push of VHS tapes. Before it was Betamax
magazines,
and right, and most movies were shot on 35 millimeter film. And then they wanted to make the transition. Hollywood wanted to make the transition to VHS, but they were like, no one's going to want to buy cassette tape, blah blah blah. And then the porn industry got a hold of it first, and lo and behold, now there's VHS tapes everywhere. And then when they want to go to DVD, no one was sure about the DVD player until porn got a hold of it, and then now you got DVDs everywhere.
And the worst of it, Beta was way better than freaking VHS.
Right, yeah. But it's always in with the new. So
Marinus was looking for the link. I posted in the chat for you, Marinus. Posted the link. It's also in the description of the video for anyone wondering.
Cool.
Let's see, Mr. Fist says he's back to number 12 of the standard edition.
Sweet,
Mr. Fist.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's right. We got a sugar rush, then technically, so I gotta change it. Let's see.
Put that sugar in there.
Yeah. There you go, chat. You got the little sugar rush up there. God.
I'm not seeing it.
Good.
Yeah, I see it up in the corner there.
Oh, there it is.
That's rad.
Gosh dang it, Pale Rider.
There you go.
He's not even here.
Sugar shaking that ass for that money.
Shut up, Sam.
What?
Well, quite fitting given the book we're talking about.
Every time there's a new person, I gotta deal with this sugar stuff, and I gotta ends up people then want me to explain it to them.
Okay.
I'm not
so-
explaining nothing.
Okay,
That's
so
Mr.
chat.
Chris. Yes.
Time for you to leave one hell of a chat explaining the red dress thing. For
Only two
everybody.
things: advanced technology, war and porn. Yep.
He's not wrong.
Nope.
All right. Let's see. Chris gives me
Because everybody
diabetes.
likes kung fu fighting.
Oh yeah. So how many pages is this? I don't think I've asked yet.
20, I believe.
Yeah, 20 story pages. Yeah. You got 20 story pages, 3 variant covers. Well, actually, there are 5 variant covers now with the 2 new ones that we have offered on Indiegogo that weren't offered on Kickstarter.
Oh, you got exclusives.
Yep. Yep.
There's some sweet line art covers that you can get only on Indiegogo that we didn't offer on the Kickstarter. So if you're a fan of, because one of the things that I like, I'm gonna rant a tiny bit here just about the awesomeness of something.
But just one question quick before, and maybe I'll answer something for everybody else. You just said that you did a Kickstarter too, so this is your second campaign for that book, right? So that
Right, this is a
explains.
follow-up.
So you already
Right.
got a funding for it, right? So people listening, that explains why it's flexible because they already got funded on Kickstarter, and this is just
Right.
for extra.
Oh, okay.
I just
Right,
wanted
this
to
is
take
a
the
follow-up
time to
campaign.
mention that.
Right. This is a follow-up
you-
campaign for anyone who missed the Kickstarter. Also, we're using these funds to basically be able to print more stuff, to be able to print more books. That's all it's going towards, because printing and shipping gets pretty expensive. So in order for us to kind of get more books out, because we got just here in Arizona alone, we have about 10 retail stores that are looking to carry the book. So
Oh, awesome.
the printing money Kickstarter is running thin, so we can print enough to cover the Kickstarter orders, but in order to get to fulfill the retailer orders, we need a little bit more funding. So that's what this Indiegogo is for here.
And I think it's important to precise because most people have issue as soon as they say flexible. That's why I think it's important to mention. Especially you said that you already got funding on Kickstarter. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
they
so,
already
I
got
mean-
the money for it, so technically,
Yeah.
you're just
So
selling it.
so I think people can back in with pretty high confidence that they will receive this book because
Yep.
they've already funded, and Mr. Rob has a history of fulfilling and doing books. So
Oh yeah.
I don't think
Yeah, you
anybody
can,
has to worry
you can-
about that.
Yeah. You can talk to anyone who's participated in the previous Kickstarter. Everyone got their books. Everyone was happy. We stated right here on this Indiegogo campaign course toward the top of the page there that the books are already completed. We just need they just need to be printed, packed, and shipped out. So yeah.
Oh, look, DJD's with us. Says hit the like
What's
button.
up, DJD?
Yeah, great to see you when you hop in, sir. Like
He is
a
a
true
vampire,
vampire,
so-
he just slides in, skulks in under cover of night, then disappears.
McCall, you had a rant that you were about to go on through.
Yeah, what was your
about-
guys' name, Mr. Cole?
Yeah, the exclusive covers that we didn't offer on the Kickstarter, because one of the things I love the most about Rob's art is just how detailed and badass the line art itself is before any of the color comes in, because he studied the school of Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane. So it's all about that line work, and and again, the colors in this book are absolutely phenomenal. I can't thank Federico and Kathy enough for what a phenomenal job they did with it, because they really brought it to life. But with really good line work, there's also something about seeing it in black and white that just has a totally different feel that is kind of its own level of badass. So to see the covers in just black and white like that, it's, for me personally, as a line art guy, a line art fan, it's really cool to see. And for anybody else who's a fan of that kind of stuff, I think you'll appreciate those covers. So if you want to get those, Indiegogo's the way to do it.
Well, I appreciate that, by the way, man. And well, the one cover for the standard edition that's already expired. Like that was just for the first 28 hours, or for the first 48 hours. So now the only one that's available is the cover C here that we have up on the screen. That one's still good to go, but yeah, the standard cover, black and white liner, that's already passed. So
Dang it, we discovered the campaign too late. We missed out.
yeah.
So whoever backed in that first so many hours, they got a collectible.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll be offered again at a convention somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah, you know, if we complete this campaign with good success, we can print out a couple extra of those covers and or I mean, you never know. Maybe we might pop it up again for offer. The last couple days of the campaign. You never know. So you've got to kind of keep your eye on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Can I go bring this up so I can zoom in a little bit better? I like the buildings there in the background and stuff. That looks really nice.
Oh yeah.
You see that it's exactly what I'm talking about. There's so much detail in just the line art alone. You can look at it numerous times and still find something new that maybe you didn't see before.
Mr. Greg's leaving us. He says he needs sleep. All right, see you later, Greg.
Late.
Soul's bringing up the Spiral Ink online shop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. You all have an online store. I might have to look
Yeah.
into that myself.
On the shop there, you can find everything that's available from Spiral Ink. Feathers is the newest book there as well. Yeah, so pretty much the entire collection is available there on the web store.
That's always good to hear. I always like it when people have their own websites and places people can go to
Mm-hmm.
get their stuff. Because I know a lot of
Yeah,
people they tend not to.
Yeah, I'm looking for a site to post to offer my original pages up for original art and stuff up for sale. So that's coming down the pipeline here a little soon. I've just got to figure out what site I'm going to land on for that. It's got a bunch of different options for to sell original comic art. So yeah, I'm still kind of looking into that.
Oh, you guys have never offered it like in the campaigns here?
The Kickstarter campaign, we offered a few original sketches, a few original pages. At least I think it was like one original page was up for purchase through the Kickstarter, but no one bid in time, so that didn't happen. So luckily, I still have all the original pages still. But I got a show coming up in Vegas this weekend, so who knows? I might come back a little light.
Yeah, that's true.
Never know. Yeah, never know.
Yeah, the one by chance. Yeah.
Let's see. Marinus to say, did I hear backgrounds? Yeah, yeah. This is why I keep getting being drawn to that ass.
Yeah, we got a lot of compliments about Zura's ass shot on that standard cover.
One of the first reviews I got for the book itself when the digital copies came out to the Kickstarter backers was the appreciation for the handful of booty shots on the interiors. But the pure quality of them, because there's not too many, but the ones that are there, they're there.
Yeah, there. I'll show that to Maris. Yeah, let's talk about the background here on this picture. If you can divert your eyes from the luscious backside here.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
But I like the background work here. I think the buildings are really nice and everything.
Oh, I loved it. And to think that something this cool was, that's just the standard cover. So, so there's no such thing as, Spiral Ink doesn't mess around. It's all in or nothing.
Yes, we got Mr. Woodrow. Hail, hail, sir. Soul Iron says he likes Hooded Cobra.
It's a good
I
book.
appreciate you, sir. Thanks, man.
That's a very good book.
Yeah, no,
Let me.
I know he has. We got a few Hooded Cobra fans there scattered around the globe. So I appreciate you guys, man. We're working on issue 7 next, but the next big book for Hooded Cobra will be his collected volume. I'm working on the graphic novel that contains issues 1 through 6 in full color, because most of the series is what was done in black and white originally. So yeah, I'm working on getting that full color and into a collected edition. So yeah, that's the next big project for Hooded Cobra.
I'm gonna divert away from the campaign for a second to bring up your website, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I'll go back to the campaign. I just wanted to check it out because I haven't actually looked at it. So
Yes. So this will be the first time for you. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's it. You've got the digital here and everything. Nice. Amanda B in the chat was just saying how she wished. I think it was her saying earlier in the chat how she wished more people had the digital because then she could afford to back more books. So
yeah.
I personally think people should have the digital option available for that reason.
Yeah. I mean, the digital option has a lot of advantages to it. I don't think it ever replaced the printed book, but like as far as like convenience and travel compliant, like it's great for all of that. People who just literally don't have the room or storage to stack their comic book collection. Digital is the way to go for that. Absolutely.
Well, and also they're really easy to get out. You just email them.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with shipping and all that good stuff. But
right.
I mean, but like you said, I don't think it'll ever fully replace the printed one. But I don't understand not offering the digital option just because everything is moving forward in technology. So just having it available is you got to.
Right.
So, can you tell us a little bit about maybe Hooded Cobra and Succubus?
Yeah, sure. So, Hooded Cobra, he's a agent from an ancient secret society called the Den of Serpents, and in the story, he's hunting down exiled members from the Den who are looking to reduce the world's population with one big global event. So, in the story, he's he's trying to figure out when they're trying to do it, how, and how to stop them. And I've thrown in some hand-picked conspiracy theories into the story. Some hand-picked real life conspiracy theories into the story. Hooded Cobra, he has kind of like an alien tech background, so like his costume and blades are all kind of nanotech and alien tech. So yeah, it's a pretty cool story. Yeah, it's been a while since I started. I think the first issue came out in 2012 was when issue 1 first premiered.
Oh wow! Yeah, so you should have a nice little bit of issues built up for people so they can get a nice arc to read.
Oh yeah, the first story arc is already complete. So like issues 1 through 6, that's already complete. So with this new issue 7, it'll be starting the second story arc. But we're kind of finishing up the script for issue 7 currently. Myself and co-writer JJ Shelton, we're finishing up that script for issue 7 right now. So that probably won't be ready until later this year. I mean, the script probably won't be finished until probably like towards the end of this year. Pencil work and artwork probably won't get started on that until middle of next year. So probably around this time next year, the new issue of Cobra will be out. Yeah, and then we have Succubus, Miss Zamina herself. So Zamina is she's a real life succubus, and this is kind of like my over the top love note to erotica. She's a real life succubus. There's no real magic elements involved. It's kind of like an organic thing for her. Like her tail is a tattoo that moves across her back like a real tail would. And in the story, she has a psychotic sister who is also a succubus who is out to kill Zamina to try to settle a childhood vendetta. And Zamina, she's like a rock star, like a superstar stripper, or erotic performer, I guess. That she gets on stage with not very many clothes on to begin with, so I don't know if you can really call her a stripper, but and then by night, but during the day, she's like a super popular webcam model. So she kind of she has her own thing going on. She does the stage performances, and then she has her webcam following. And then we're up to issue 4, and in the story so far, she's kind of discovering more about what it means to be someone of her type, of her breed, succubus, trying to fight off her sister, and just learning, adventuring, learning more stuff about who she is, and kind of how to be her, how to be yourself. So very, very popular book. This thing it blew up in my face, man. Like I initially started Succubus to take a break from drawing muscles and action, with Hooded Cobra. Right between, I think, issues 2 and 3 of Hooded Cobra, I wanted to take a little quick breather and just do something that had some TNA in it, but that was just fun and over the top. And I came out with issue 1 for Succubus in 2014. And by the time that book was even out for 2 weeks, I had all these questions of, when's issue 2 coming out? When's issue 3 coming out? It's like, oh boy. So yeah, it's kind of caught fire on me. But it's a very fun book. I love the character. I love drawing the story and stuff like that. Because the fun part is I can just do whatever I want in it, and as long as it makes sense with the character and the story, it always equals to be a pretty a fun read, and it's just a fun raunchy tale to get into. And Zamina's she's very charismatic and apparently a lovable character by both guys and girls. When you get positive responses from girls about this character, then it's just as much positive responses that you do as guys, and you're probably doing something right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Got a lot of female readers for Succubus, which is surprising. I was like, wow, okay. So yeah.
Hey, ladies love ladies love the cheesecake sometimes too.
Yeah,
they love the ladies.
I get a lot of compliments on how she's drawn. I draw Zamina like more realistically. She's not super skinny. I don't really draw skinny girls unless that's what the character looks like to be a skinny person. But with the different body types that appear in this story, I just try to stay true as possible to real life body types.
Right.
And I think people kind of respond to that a little bit better, or they respond to that more than your traditional comic book style chick, the way most females are drawn in comics. So I think that's kind of helped, with the success of the book.
All right, let me check the chat, see what they're saying.
So it's definitely not for kids.
Shopping on stream. Oh lordy. So I'm not shopping on stream. They always say I'm shopping on stream. And I am not doing such a thing. I'm being a professional and going over all of the stuff.
We're just scrolling through.
I want to brag for a second, say that I have the original Waters of Lilith cover on my wall. I have the original line art for that.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Cole is probably Succubus' biggest fan. Like he's been a fan since he first discovered it, I think in 2015, 2016 maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah. I call them Mina Minions, all the Mina Minions out there. So Cole is probably Mina Minion number 1. So yeah, he has a lot of Succubus stuff at his place. Which I wouldn't it wouldn't be any better place for it. Cole is he's pretty meticulous about his original art collection. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man.
Let's see.
Hey, man.
Mr. Fish says the male gaze is a myth. A lot of women I know enjoy seeing sexy women too. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, women are quite beautiful, much more than us rough looking men.
Well, yeah. So, well, in comics too, because I grew up reading in the late '80s, early '90s comics. And in the '90s, we were all familiar with how most comic women were represented, was represented in comics back then. The big balloon boobs and the non-existent waist with the impossible spine curvature and stuff like that. Like it's heavily stylized, but for a different look, from what we were used to seeing in comics, which was basically the golden age style or silver age style artwork. The stuff that was coming through in the '90s was radical, so everybody was like, "Oh, these women are so hot" and everything. But then you take a second look at them, like, wait a minute, the spine doesn't really do that, or why is her waist so small, or her boobs are impossibly balloon size, or it's like spheres, and they sit on top of the chest and stuff. So I was like, yeah, it's we all kind of got familiar or got kind of used to that style, but I just try to take a little different approach in my, with my figure, my line work, on how I draw women in comics, in my comics anyway. So yeah.
Well, and it shows because again, some of the reviews I got back about Feathers from the digitals, especially from guys that grew up reading comic books in the 80s and 90s and onward, a few people said that reading Feathers kind of took them back to their childhood of their personal golden age of comics. So there's that.
Yeah.
Let me see. Gosh dang it, everybody give me help. JK says, Big Dip Chris, I'm pretty and fabulous. All right, Johnny, maybe you're the exception. The Shurish Shop 2 ordered. Oh, okay. It looks like Soul ordered the digital hooded Cobra #1 at the online shop.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking into that. So yeah, we'll with the online shop, most of those digital orders, it takes about an hour or so to process, and then then the links will go out. So yeah, anybody that's ordering stuff right now, just give me a little bit. You'll get your links and stuff going to your email.
Yeah, and then here's the.
You won't be disappointed. That's a fun one.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Hooded Cobra.
Yeah, I worked. We had a different cover artists on there for the colors. Had Derek Tipton, who is a local. He's a local artist here in AZ. He started Spiraling Comics with them. He helped me get Cobra off the ground with some cover colors and stuff. He's a super talented manga artist, Derek. He does a lot of like manga and anime style artwork, and this stuff is exceptional. So he helped me get Cobra off the ground with, like, I think those first 3 covers he did colors for. And then I had Jesse Hagee help me out on some of the covers for Cobra. Jesse has done color work for everybody: Marvel, DC, Zenescope, Aspen, you name it. Jesse Hagee has been on their covers. So I had the good fortune to work with some super talented people in the indie comics world on Cobra and for Succubus, and so yeah, it's been fun. It's been a good ride with the Cobra. So we're going to keep it going with them. Eventually, I'm going to try to do an animated treatment for both books, for Hooded Cobra and Succubus.
Oh wow!
And what I mean by animation is like we're going to start small. I just want to do maybe what equals to be like a 3.5 minute trailer, for both stories, basically. So if we can get that off the ground, and possibly a full length feature, or full length miniseries to happen, and animated miniseries to happen. But yeah, I believe in starting off small first, so don't want to get too crazy too soon. But
yeah, we have a fella, a friend. He did an animated trailer for his Indiegogo campaign, and it took him a long time to do it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
And I won't be animated myself, so I'm gonna outsource that to people who know what they're doing with animation. So yeah, that's the plan though. So we you know I may or may not include that into future Kickstarters because I have never tried to do a crowdfunding for for animation before. So that's something that I still got to look into and develop. But there's plans for it. It's in the works. So I know I've gotten asked about animation for Succubus before by different so a couple of different Kickstarter backers. So I know the interest is there.
Yeah,
So,
there's some
we're
interest
gonna-
then, yeah.
Mhm.
Let me see the chat. Let's see. Mr. Phil's with us. Says hail to chat. Hey,
Hail.
Phil.
How's it
He
going?
says, you know who else says? All right, Phil, I'm gonna have you on. Don't worry. I gotta get you on, and I gotta get Passion on. Don't worry, it'll happen. I gotta. The problem is, I like here lately. I've been scheduling people ahead of time, so it's been like I've got people for every show for like 2 weeks ahead of time. So
Cool.
I will get you in, Phil. I will get you in, Phil. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to the Indiegogo campaign, so we can give a last go over here. Oh, I never did refresh the. Yeah, there we go. Got another backer there. Up to 19%. Awesome.
Sweet. Getting there.
Yeah, the hardest part is getting noticed, in my opinion. It seems like getting people to know that your stuff's on there and everything.
Yeah, well, and with all these crowdfunding sites, anybody who has any interest in creating anything, whether it's comic books, music, novels, whatever, they can go to a crowdfunding site, post a campaign, and make it happen. So it's exactly that. Just being a small fish in a big pond, essentially. There's so many different projects to look at and potentially throw money towards. So there's a lot of scouring to do.
There's needle in the haystack, and it's really it's literally what it is. Especially on Kickstarter. There's hundreds of comics being crowdfunded on Kickstarter, every week. And for us to get noticed and not only get noticed but to make funding, that's not a small feat. So we appreciate that. We're just super grateful for everyone who gives us a shot. Because it's as a comic book fan myself, and someone who backs projects and gotten a few books off of crowdfunding, it's hard to try to figure out who you should take a chance with. You know what I mean? Especially if it's someone that's that's not associated with any of the big name publishers. Don't have a lot of big name artists on the project. It's hard to take a chance on brand new comics or brand new indie comics. So that's why we put so much effort into the look of the book, because we know the artwork is ultimately what's going to sell the project, or sell the book and get it noticed. So it has to stand out in some ways, or has to have something to offer that fans and readers haven't really seen before. You know what I mean? So we appreciate any and all attention that it gets, and we tell everybody all the time, even if you can't throw money at it, if you share it, it's just as good as throwing money at it. The more eyes that see it, the better. You know what I mean? So
word of mouth is very important for these sort of things.
It's word of mouth is one of the most coveted things for any kind of project. The more people that see it, the more people that hear about it. Even if exactly what Rob said. If you can't throw money at it, then sharing it truly is just as good, because the more people that see it, the more potential buyers that look at it. And if I remember correctly, I think when the Kickstarter first happened, I believe we were #1 on favorite new projects for a week or something like that on the website. So that I was blown away by that. And even
really? I didn't even see that. Wow. I didn't even know about that. Yeah, that's news to me.
Feathers was trending #1 new projects for a little bit, so that was pretty sweet.
Holy crap!
Nice. That probably helped get more attention on there.
So clearly we did something right, but I couldn't be more hyped and thankful for not only how this turned out, but the amazing team that got work done on this, and everybody that contributed either to the Kickstarter or is contributing now to the Indiegogo, and anybody that shared it, because we really couldn't have done it without you guys. It makes all the difference in the world.
And how much
Yeah.
you guys raise on Kickstarter?
I think we did just about 4,000, I think.
Yeah, it was just I think it was around like 4,400, so about 4,500 somewhere. We landed around there. Initial goal was 25, I think 2,500.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it did very well on Kickstarter. We went beyond our initial goal. So yeah, those Kickstarter packs are just starting to ship out. They started shipping out last week. And for proof, here you go, guys. Like, here are the books. Like, they're.
Zoom in on that. There we go. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, we got them. We got them. So we're for Indigo. These are Kickstarter books, so these books are already claimed. You know what I mean? But this is the first round of printing. But they're done. You know what I mean? So we're still shipping them out. So our Indiegogo people are next. Cole got the sketch cover, and he has a whole collection as well. So
nice.
They do exist. There is not, we're not hustling anybody. I wouldn't take the Spiral. We don't take your money and not give you, what was promised. So everything is done.
It's unfortunate when that happens, when people put up like campaigns and then they don't deliver.
Yeah,
which really hurts everybody else.
It does. Well, and that's kind of why it can be difficult to take a chance on those things sometimes. And one of the big things we talked about when doing the campaign is we didn't even want to post it until a certain progress milestone had been made, so we could show people, hey, there's something substantial in the works. Like, here's the first, I think 6 pages were done and 7 and 8 were on the way by the time we even posted the campaign, and the first couple pages were already colored. So
yeah, we wanted to have all the covers done before we even started the campaign, so people can just see at least see the covers and see, at least 1 or 2 pages of interior story.
Me personally, because I've backed more than a dozen campaigns on Kickstarter, and most of them have come through. But the thing that ends up making my decision easier whether or not I want to fund something is the more that I see on the campaign, as far as whether it's covers or interior art or something, the more that you show me, the more likely I'll be to back it, which I think that's a pretty good principle to have as far as crowdfunding stuff. If you show people that you've got stuff, I think you're more likely to get funding that way.
Yeah,
I had
the book out in time. It was a few weeks late, but we're starting to ship now. So yeah, it was pretty much right on point from when I predicted the project to be ready to ship. So yeah, couldn't be happier with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had there's some campaigns I've seen on Kickstarter and Indiegogo that the concept, like the idea that the pitch that they were throwing out there, I was like, hey, that sounds kind of interesting. And they had like a thumbnail that looked kind of like, oh, that could be good. And then I click on it and they had no cover art, no interior art, nothing shown. It was just like the pitch, and that was it. And I was like, I don't have any confidence in this. Like, I don't even know what it's going to look like.
Yeah,
right.
As a backer,
I'm not going to knock or diss anybody, but I think the less you have to present on your campaign page, you may be hurting your long-term success. So, get to a certain milestone before you start a campaign. That would be my personal advice to anybody that's looking to get crowdfunding for any kind of project. Just have something substantial to show, and it will bolster people's confidence and make them more likely to back your project.
Yeah.
And
Personally,
as a backer, there's also the fact that don't worry about being late. We'd rather somebody being late on a crowdfunding than not having anything. Because there's so
Right.
many campaigns that
Right.
never fulfilled, just disappeared with
Yeah.
the money, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
being late, like it says on any crowdfunding, this is not a store, this is not a purchase. You are giving money
Right.
away for a production of something. You are not guaranteed to have anything back. So to me, I always said like backing a project. That's why I don't go with $200 tiers neither. But
Mhm.
it's kind of like lending money to a friend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
you sign it up as in you're giving it away and hoping that you'll get it in return. So being
Well,
late
exactly.
ain't a big deal because I'd rather that you be late than I get my book. We got some books that were late like over a year and a half, sometimes two, but the book came out and it
Mhm.
was freaking awesome.
Right. Right.
The
They,
important is keep
you know,
people updated.
right. Right. Exactly.
That's what I was going to say is that I think people will be a little more understanding about missing deadlines if you at least keep them updated
Yep.
via the Kickstarter, which that was something that we made sure to do constantly. And it's reassuring because, if you're keeping in contact with everybody and letting them know and showing them things as they go along, then at least a bit, oh, well, it'll happen eventually. But if you just, and a year late, that's insane. I personally would not tolerate that. A couple weeks, few months, yeah, okay, fine. As long as it's being worked on, that's totally understandable. But communication with the backers and the fans is absolutely key. And then as far as top really high dollar tiers, I personally might not do that for someone that I wasn't 100% sure of. But if it's someone whose projects I've backed before and I know they're good on it, then yeah, I'll drop the money for sure.
Or even a campaign that's had at least one or two successful campaigns prior to the one that you're pledging to. You can see that hey, they've done a few before and that went well. So,
uh-oh.
Oh, we lost you, Rob.
Yeah, your audio went out there, Rob.
But yeah, like for this one with Feathers, we were pretty much on schedule until like that last month, and I think it was either Federico or Kathy had got sick for a few weeks, so we fell behind on production for about 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But
I can't fully hear him real well.
Me neither.
And was able to get the books completed and shipped out. Like
I don't know if he can hear us.
So yeah, that's why we're kind of shipping now instead of August when the books were set to ship out. But yeah, no, I make it a point to keep everybody updated and let everybody know what the process is on the book. But like we were talking about before, I won't even start the campaign unless unless I'm a certain milestone or we're at a certain completion point with the entire thing. Because it helps for the campaign page. It helps for everybody to see what content is available so far. It just adds so much more to your campaign that help it get funded. Because the more people see, like Cole said, the more confident they'll be with with wanting to help back and throw money at it. So yeah, it's just those little things like that where a lot of people, because everybody wants to do comics nowadays, which is great, and because of crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, absolutely anybody can do their own comic book. But the problem is anybody can do their comic book. You know what I mean? So, and that's with any kind of experience level, any kind of skill level can try their hand to get their comic book funded. But there are a lot of little details that go into helping your success with your campaign, and that's from big publishers all the way down to people who are just starting out. So
Rob,
I had a lot of help with the artists here locally. I don't know if you guys are probably familiar with Alfred Trujillo, and Carl Nicole. They've done a lot of Kickstarters, and they were hounding me for since about 2015 about just do a Kickstarter. Just do a Kickstarter. I was like,
I can barely hear him.
I can't do a
Yeah, he's
Kickstarter
muffled,
right now,
like he's away from his mic.
And then now, I kind of got to a point to where I can, manage Kickstarter as kind of a side note to getting the actual content and artwork completed. So
Kind of reminds me
it's
when
a
you forget
very,
that your camera's
very
hooked
intricate juggling act you have to do because
and you back away from your mic.
there's literally like with my books, there's
Yeah.
literally me and like maybe one or two other people working on them.
No, we're
That's
hearing
it. I
better.
don't have there is no big team, big production team. There is no editor, art director. It's none of that. It's just me and then my people that I'm working with who actually are working with the book. So I got to wear all the hats. all the hats I got to wear.
Yeah. Personally, I like to see at least like 3
I
pages.
think I lost you guys. 1 second. Can't hear anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like he can't hear us, and then we can barely hear him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like if he backed up and his headset got unhooked and now it fell on camera.
Yeah. Can you hear us good, Cole?
I can hear you guys.
Okay, you're still good. All right, good. That's the last thing we need to lose you again. But yeah, I like to see at least like 3 interior pages and at least 1 cover art for a campaign. That gives me an idea of what's going to be inside. What I'm gives me a decent idea of what I'm going to be getting into for the book.
Yeah, that's a good way. It's a good way to go.
Yeah. What's everybody in the chat saying? They're yelling at Rob because they can't hear him.
Oh, all right, so I can hear you guys now. So what was the last thing you heard me say? I don't know.
I personally heard
the
you.
entire monologue that you just did.
I heard it. It's just it was very low and muffled.
Yeah. It's like you were away from your camera, like
during that whole speech, we barely could hear.
So that's good old Bluetooth working his magic.
Yeah,
like we were trying to say stuff to you, but you couldn't hear us.
Well, I can hear myself talking, but like you guys, I couldn't hear anything. But basically, it's what I was saying was it's the more you put the more you have to offer on your campaign when you first started, the better your success will probably be with your campaign. With the internet, anybody and everybody can do a comic book, but that also aligns the problem that anybody can do a comic book, and that's coming from any kind of experience level, any kind of skill level, all is kind of all encompassing. So
you got more backers.
Excited. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
And
that's
442 now.
Yeah. Well, and actually, Feathers was my first full-on official finished title as far as comic books went. So I didn't want to make terrible rookie mistakes when going along with this whole thing. So I turned to Grandmaster Rob for like, hey, what are the rookie pitfalls that I need to avoid here? And
tell them the story. Tell them the story about the script, the first script.
Okay, so
they'll love that story.
I still have it. I'm not going to show it because it's just awful. And so you
Let's just say it had a lot of exposition in it, a whole bunch of expo.
Yeah, but that's one of the things most writers do, dude. They forget the show not tell.
Yeah. And that's what I had to teach Cole, right?
Yeah. The big problem is there was a lot being shown in a very short amount of time. So I believe the original script, the very first full draft out of however many pages it was, I think maybe 2 of them survived and not even in their entirety. So there was some reworking to be done, and while it was a little bit painful at first to see it get mercilessly chopped up the way it was definitely for the better. I learned a lot from the experience, and now when I go back and look at that very first script, I'm just like, oh God, what the hell was I thinking? I can't believe I thought this was good.
Well, on the positive, you've passed that first most important thing. You've shown that you're willing to accept criticism
Yeah,
and
well,
grow and everything.
yeah, well, and if you're in this industry and pretty much any creative industry, because I was a musician before too. I mean, I've been writing for years, but also doing music. So if you
Wait a minute. So music is not your real last name?
no, it is.
What?
It is appropriately.
Coincidences.
It's
Ah.
a very very strange coincidence, but yeah, the last name on the cover that's my genuine given legal birth name. But yeah, in this whole creative industry, no matter what you're doing, if you're not willing to accept criticism and learn how to get better, then you're not going to get any better. And when I say that, there's a huge difference between constructive criticism, as in, hey, this is ways that you could improve, versus people not knowing how to articulate themselves, or they just don't like something because it's not their thing. So, oh, this sucks because I don't like this, so therefore it sucks. Like, well, that's okay. Not everybody's going to like everything, but, you know, in the case of my very first script, Rob was like, okay, you got a few good ideas here, but there's too much going on. So you got to fix that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of everything that doesn't need to happen. And I'm going to leave you a couple beats to work on, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. What I had to, what basically the point I was trying to relay with this first script with Cole is like, okay, so this is a brand new character. No one's ever heard of it, or or never heard of Feathers of Onyx, or never heard of Zora. Only thing we have to go on with Zora is how she looks. So visually, Zora kind of puts you in the mind of Storm, because she's a black girl with white hair, So that's kind of the instant relationship that people form when they see Zora, just initially. But as far as story-wise, when people, they get beyond the look of it, like, okay, this looks cool enough for me to open the cover and try to read what's going on here. You want to show, not tell, like you guys said, because no new reader for a brand new comic or a brand new story, character, what have you, is going to want to sit through 8 pages of exposition, because we have no points of reference. We have nothing to go off of. We're all kind of learning about this new character and this new story, this new environment, all at the same time. So with Zura being what she is, she's the leader of an assassin guild. We need to be able to show that. We need to be able to show what she does and basically why she's doing it, or set up the why at some point. But yeah, it was just a point of having to trim the fat basically. Now the stuff that got put on the cutting floor, it's not that we can't use it, but it just was not needed for this very first issue because it was just too much. So we had to whittle it down to get to the point of what's happening in this first issue. So and that's a normal thing. I went through that myself with the first issue of Hooded Cobra when I was sitting down to write that first script. A lot of different versions of it. I ran it past a lot, a couple different writer friends that I had at the time to give me pointers and stuff like that. So it's a natural process. So to be able to throw your ideas across other comic book writers or people who are familiar with, story and how story structure is supposed to happen. It's a valuable tool. Not everybody has that, but there are resources out there that can help you with comic book writing. But yeah. The first script that Cole threw at me, I was like, yeah, no, dude, I can't do anything with this how it stands right now. Like, we need to trim some fat on this, right? You want to fit all this into a 20-page comic book? Like, no, it's not gonna happen. Like, we got to trim some fat.
Yeah, well, and like I said, when I've gone back and looked at that first script now, just like it would never pass my current standards. And something to elaborate on with that, writing for comic books and writing for novels or whatever else, they're two completely different animals, especially because comic books are heavily a visual medium. And so, and you only have, depending on the book, like somewhere from 20, 22, 24 pages maybe, unless you're talking about a graphic novel, but that's a different thing entirely, or just an extended version. But whereas novels, you kind of have to give visual descriptions and elaborate on more detail and stuff like that, because all you have to go on is words. Whereas comic books, illustrations are, and interior panels and whatnot are the big selling point, and that's kind of what's driving the story. So you really need to keep it as concise, to the point, and just as smooth as possible, and make sure it flows, because you only have so much space to work with, and you can't waste any time with it. Otherwise, you're gonna end up losing the reader's attention.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that when I write my stories, I usually just have a plot, like it's plotted out. Then after that, I do layouts, and when I got the layouts, that's when I start working on the final script. Because otherwise, you end up editing so much, and it ends up being a bit of a waste of time, because you put so much work in writing it, and then you end up cutting it out.
Yeah,
it's like in novels, you need to, like you were saying, in novels, you need to describe every leaf on that branch, on a tree branch. Not in comics.
Yeah, everyone has their own writing process. I think there is no one way of doing a comic book script. It's like when I do my stories, when I write my stuff, I'm writing for myself, because I'm the one drawing it. It's not a script that I have to hand off to an illustrator. As far as like with the conditions with this book, Cole was he was the primary writer, and so he was handing this off to me, the illustrator. So that's why I was trying to teach him on how to communicate with your artist. You don't want to overwrite your panels. If a page has 6 panels on it, you can't throw a bunch of dialogue in it and expect it to not cover up the artwork. You know what I mean? So it has to be like a kind of delicate balance there, to where you can see a lot of the artwork on the page, as well as read the dialogue or whatever captions are there, and not have the words and the dialogue just take up the entire panel of whatever wherever it's supposed to be going. So yeah, it's just little things like that you kind of pick up along the way, or you're fortunate enough you have someone to kind of teach you that. I learned that through observation and through studying, different writing techniques for comics and stuff like that, and reading different books. There's a lot of books, even mainstream books. Marvel was notorious for overwriting their panels, especially back in the 90s, man.
But dude, that was because of Peter David and Chris Claremont. Because everybody they can do it. Like, they were doing it right. They weren't doing like overexposure and everything, but they had a lot of narration, a lot of inner monologue. They did it great. But then everybody decided, well, I want to be like them.
Right.
Then,
I want to have a bunch of expo on my pages too, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, So it's just one of those things where you just need to be aware of when you're writing your script. You know what I mean? So.
Because Claremont is the one that came in. Like, originally, him and Peter David were the two ones that came in and changed that, and that everybody felt like they needed to, like the small dick syndrome. Everybody needed to, like, I need a full page of narration. And but you're repeating exactly what I'm seeing. That's not how you're supposed to do that. This is exposition.
Well, that kind of happens when you have very, pretty popular books. People, they want to emulate that style. They want to emulate everything about it. You know what I mean? And for some, they can make it. They can take that and make it work for them, and others they can't. So it's just a fact of wanting to copy or emulate or be like something compared to understanding what they did or how they did it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the disconnect there that I think a lot of people who read comics and want to do comics, they miss that. You know what I mean? They see it and they just want to copy that.
But I also noticed that sometimes when you're reading it, you're noticing that this should have not have been printed. This should just have been a note to the artist. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you're describing the scene, so that should not be lettered. That should be just a note to artists.
That should have been the description section of the script. Like it's exactly that. It's like nobody needed to see that except the person that's doing the art.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you
it'd
get
be like a shot of a city on a dark and stormy night, and then in the caption up above it say,
it's a dark.
"Meanwhile, in the dark and stormy night," right?
Oh, really? I thought I was looking at
Yeah.
sunlight
Yeah,
here.
there's a
Like,
rat
yeah,
that
I
gets
can
close to
see
that
that.
hole, and the hole spits fire. And you're like, you're not supposed to write that down in the book, right?
Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
can
no,
see
it's
that.
like,
Yeah.
no, like I can see what's happening here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
then,
caught up with the chat. I'm gonna get caught up with the chat right here real quick. We got Woodrow saying, if a person isn't willing to sacrifice to get something to show, big red flag. If you can't
I agree
sacrifice
with
for your own creation, do you truly believe in it?
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Soul's bringing up, he's bringing up Detective Dead. Soul, come on. We're never gonna get that book, unfortunately. And I was dumb enough to back it back in the day.
Not me.
Detective Dad.
I've been
You boys,
I've been
Zach's books.
fortunate enough that I've been fortunate enough that pretty much the majority of Kickstarters that I've backed have all come through at some point or another. There's been one or two that I probably should have seen the red flags, but it was like $5 for each of them, so I'm not going to complain too much. It's not going to make or break me.
You're lucky. Because
yeah, well,
when I back one of those books, usually they're like $25 plus 25 shipping. I'm in Canada, so that comes up to like 57.
Ooh, international.
Yeah. So I buy the book, but I have to say that so far I've received most of the books that I backed. There's only two that I haven't received yet. One's being fulfilled, but slowly because he had some issue, which is what was the name? Brudas the Badass. So it should be on his way soon. And the other one is I don't know if I'm gonna get it. It's Sovereign by
I don't have a lot.
I don't know if that one's ever gonna come in, but I backed it. Oh yeah, and the Rob Liefeld book I backed. Never gonna get that one, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Let's see. They're talking about you boys.
They treat it like a the Kickstarter. Anytime you pledge, they treat it like a donation to a company or to a project.
Yep.
So like a lot of that stuff is it comes through. It's tax free. That's why
that's why there's so many of those big guys that did a Kickstarter and never fucking fulfilled, and they're like, there's no big deal. You meet them at Gun and go, hey, where's that book? And they go, well, it's not happening, man. And they're like, oh well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean that's Kickstarter's out, that's the creators out. That's kind of like their back door to be like, yeah, we're you can pleasure this project, but there's no guarantee that it actually happens. Which it is what it is. I know catastrophe happen on both ends with a creator or whatever the case. But me personally, I don't believe in taking someone's money and not delivering what's promised. You know what I mean? Like that, because I wouldn't want to be done like that. But I understand, shit happens. But overall, that'll be kind of like the worst case scenario for me as a publisher, as a creative.
Yeah, but you can understand from a small creator that doesn't make a whole bunch of money, right? But when you see a guy that has a reputation that's been in the industry and makes over 20K and can't fulfill a book,
right?
Yeah, that's I've seen a few of those and I never understood it, and then
it makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. Well, and one of the things,
unless you did it personal and you declared everything as a revenue, and then you get screwed at the taxes. But even there, dude, if you register yourself as a small business, you write off the percentage or the amount that on that 20K. Let's just say there's 10K that goes to the book, 10K that goes to you. Well, in your taxes, you go 10K expenses and 10K profit.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you get fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll be the first to tell you, like, as far as running a campaign and fulfillment, one of my biggest expenses is shipping. With the Succubus campaign, I had, there was almost 300 physical orders going out. And I did a huge shipping discount for that campaign. Like my European orders, typically you would be looking at $35 for one package. And I was only offering, 20. $20 for it. So I took a hit on shipping, and then at the same time, the United States Postal Service increased their shipping rate. This was last year.
Yep.
And they went up on their international shipping rates, kind of all around because of COVID, and that fucked me even more.
They've been doing that every year, even twice a year. They do it before the holidays, and then after the holidays, they raise it again.
Yeah, and Succubus, that campaign ended right before the holidays. So this was like, I want to say September last year when fulfillment started. So I got caught right when they increased the shipping, and that just double screwed up everything. So the shipping on that book, fell behind a couple months because prices went up, and the money was already dwindling.
And the international, that's a killer.
Right, and because I had so many international orders, you know what I mean. It was just like, all right, some of these countries are just going to be delayed because the funds, I have to kind of make up for those funds for those shipping money.
Yep. Yeah, I remember with my book Blood Hunt, the first time I checked, it was $18.95, between $18.95 to $22.95 shipping, right, internationally. During when it was time to fulfill, though, everything went up to $28.95, and I'm like, what? Between $25.95 to $28.95,
right,
for a fucking book.
Yeah, for a package that weighs less than 2 pounds. Like a lot of these were just coming up like a couple ounces, in weight.
And one of the things that they've been doing right now, it's if you ship international, like to your UK, I think there's like 2-3 places, UK and I think Australia too. If you ship them there and they don't get delivered, they reship back to you and they charge you again. The same price.
Didn't you just have this problem recently?
I just had, I just had the same problem with a shipment to Belgium. So this was the very last Succubus Kickstarter shipment I sent out.
Yeah, it's part of the Brexit shit.
Okay, so yeah, it was part of Belgium. I was not aware of this, nor was a backer, but we sent it out. This was a big package. It was like $65 to send this thing to Belgium. It got there, and they held it for like a month and a half, and the receiver never got a notice. Customs held it for a month and a half, and then they returned it to me. So I get this thing back in the mail going, like, well, what the hell? Why did you guys, send this back? The postage is paid and everything. And come to find out, they require some kind of tax from the receiver. He has to pay a customs tax just to receive the package. And so by the time he found that out, it's already sitting in my lap again. So
and then they charge you again for that shipping, which is fucking stupid if you want it back.
Right. So if I wanted to send it back out, even though the previous postage was paid and the address is correct and everything, if I wanted to send that back out, it's another $65. So that's $130 going out the door just to get it back. It's ridiculous.
And that's why I keep mentioning to people, when you send those books out, those perks out, one, it's not a fucking sell. It's a reward, so it's a gift because people backed it. It's not a sell. They're not paying taxes on it. You're not charging taxes per purchase.
Yeah.
So it's not, and make sure that you're precise that it's a book, because most places books don't have taxes on. And third of all, when they ask you for the value of the fucking thing, do not put the value that you would sell it. Put the value it would cost you to replace it. Because if it's too much, they charge taxes on the other side. That's what the Brexit new law is. They're treating it like that. So if you keep it on like at 20 or less, like just make what it costs you to print that stuff in case they get lost, so you don't lose all your money.
I usually declare the value at whatever the backer paid for the reward. Like if they did a $75 pledge, it's worth $75.
Because I backed that Simon Bisley on Kickstarter, the big the prelim book that he did, the sketchbook, and they charged me like €10 shipping and stuff like that. And they were used to doing shipping like they used to for years, but they changed the law. So when that got here, not only did I pay €10 shipping, right, I had to pay an extra $12.50 to get my book as taxes.
Yeah. That was exactly the case with my backer in Belgium, but it just he wasn't aware of it, nor was I. So they sat on his package for a month and a half before sending it out, and he never got a notification from customs saying that, hey, you got this package here that you need to pick up, and by the way, there's a fee.
And isn't it weird? Price keeps going up, but we get less services.
Well, because they're short staffed because of because of COVID. Everybody, all these employers are short staffed, so it's more work for them to move these packages around, which is understandable. But the fluctuation in price isn't helping anything. So
I know.
when
Wait.
that's what I try to drive home to my backers. Anyone who supports me, it's like and they see the shipping cost. It's like I'm not trying to screw you guys. Anyone can get on USPS.com and use their calculator, and you type in your own zip code and see how much it would cost to ship something to another zip code, and
But
it's
this,
all right there.
but one of the
You know
thing
what
I
I
always
mean?
I thought was funny when you notice it is during all this COVID lockdown, most businesses went down. The only one that thrived was the web one because we were doing
Mhm.
shipping, we were doing this, we all kept going, and crowdfunding has gone up. And
Mhm.
it's just weird that out of nowhere they just decided that hey, let's just make everything more complicated, more expensive, and more problematic, and that's it.
Well,
And you just
the shipping industry is aware of what's going on with
Hmm.
crowdfunding because they see the packages coming in, coming through. So everybody tries to profit off of it, you know. So they it's like, oh, so all these people are ordering books now and stuff. So let's get in on this and hike our prices up so we can get paid more, even if it's for legit reasons or not. You know, everyone kind of wants to have their hand in the pie, which is business is business, but for first time backers and people who are unfamiliar with how fulfillment goes, like when you see those shipping prices, that's literally what it'll cost us to get your books to you.
Hmm.
Um,
And
I
it's
try to
stupid
cut
because
corners like wherever I can with shipping. I try to cut corners. So
mhm.
if I could send something out for less than what was charged for shipping, I'll try to do that, and then the balance of the shipping costs I'll put towards more printing. You know what I mean? So I'm a big believer in in reinvesting in the business. So whatever money that I make is going
Yeah.
right back into the pot for the
And
business. You know.
international shipping is such a bitch on the fact that if you have 500 grams, right, and you just
Yeah.
pass over it for like 0.16.
Right.
So if your initial shipping was $25 and you go over 0.16, well, it's now 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't
It's
get
ridiculous.
shipping, and you don't get the tracking. Tracking is an extra $12 now. I'm like,
Hmm.
what?
wow.
It used to be $4 or something. Now it's $12 tracking internationally.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing that sucks about that, you can't not have the tracking.
Yeah, and
Like
not just
that's
that, the
you have
tracking
to.
don't work as well anymore. Most of the time, you don't even know if it's on delivery or not. So there's no point charging. There's no point paying for it anymore. Because as soon as it leaves Canada, I cannot follow it, and some people
Right.
would not follow it. There was no point of paying it.
Yeah, tracking only works in the states, in the
Yep.
country. I when I send out international orders, I get a customs number. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'd surprised.
So you're better putting a bit more money on that insurance
Oh yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
paying tracking, unless it's
Mhm.
original
Yeah.
art. That's a bit more
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
Well,
it's always good to declare a good value amount on the customs package because if not, you're kind of screwing yourself over.
Yeah. And you don't want to screw your customer neither.
No,
no.
no,
Not
like
a nice
what
surprise going, why? I need to pay an extra $15 to get my book? And
right, and
then, because they
with my
don't know.
Belgium customer, I want him to have the books, but they're sitting here with me, because
Yeah,
they
but
got returned, and it wasn't either one of our faults,
and
but
perception
I'm
wise,
like,
like,
dude, I can't cover the return postage on it. That's another $65,
and perception
so
wise, right?
right.
Even if the backer knows that it's not the creator's fault, it
Hmm.
gives that distrust there, that problem there. Like, am I gonna get it? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's kind of like
And
if somebody
yeah.
pays $30 to send you your book and he has to send it to you 3 times, that's yeah.
Well, yeah,
Well,
you've already gone well over the value of the
Mhm.
product. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're
yeah.
just throwing
Well,
money at the shipping services now.
yeah. Well, and like you said, it just sat in customs, and if they never sent him a notice that he had anything, how was he supposed to know to go pick it up?
Yeah, and
Exactly.
usually the notice comes as an email because it happened to me too. You need to pay taxes for this, otherwise we'll return it.
Yeah, and he never got that, or it went to his spam. I don't know what happened, but to none of our faults. Now the books are back with me, and it's like that sucks because It's his. These are his books. I'd rather for him to have it than to give him a refund. But if ultimately it comes to a refund, that's what's going to happen. But it's just one of those things where once the books leave my possession and goes out into the universe through the shipping world, it's literally out of my control. It's out of our control. Like we're hoping that if the books get to you in one piece and nothing is damaged or missing, or they didn't have to replace anything or anything like that. So it's just I think it's rare, but it does happen. Like the shipping foul ups do happen, but it's costly on both ends, especially if stuff that's going from the States to Europe. It's all kind of nightmares that can occur with that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna catch up to the chat because I am way behind. My bar is like halfway. So
Sure. Yeah.
Marinus is saying to me, should I install Deep Rock Galactic? We could stream it. Yeah, go ahead. Me and Sim have played it. Dave, you could be our fourth, even. Let's see.
Sorry, I had a phone call.
Let's see. Yeah, Marinus is asking if he should install Deep Rock Galactic, Sim.
Deep Rock Galactic? Yep. So buy it. Buy it. Freaking buy it. It's freaking awesome. Love that game.
Mr. Fist says comic book readers make great comic book creators because they know what they can empathize with readers.
Yeah,
Soul says obligatory Sim rant on the comic industry.
Again.
Let's see.
So Sim,
Yeah,
Canada's
I'm
tracking stops
lifelong
at the
comic
border
book
because
reader.
the Monties can't leave the country.
Probably
I
true.
fucking love that guy.
Probably accurate.
And Chris Fish says taxation is theft. Yeah, taxation on your working money. I think it is. Like if it's services tax, I don't, for the city, but tax on, yeah, I could agree with that.
No, yeah,
This-
the post office had to explain that to me because I took the package to the post office and made them explain, like tell me why this came back because there was nothing marked on the package itself as far as the reason for the return shipment. It just said awaiting payment. I'm like, awaiting payment from who? Like the postage has been paid, barcode and everything.
You know what's-
so it's like, what the hell?
I mean, the one that was returned, the worst thing is that they marked out, like they put a mark, they took a marker and they marked out the address of the person that I sent it to. I'm like, hey, they go, here, you're going to have to pay $25 to get it back. I'm like, what's the point? I know what's in there. It's a book. You scratch the freaking address on it. I can't find out who the hell it is. So just throw it in the garbage. They just looked at me like they're desperately going, what? I don't want it. Keep it. Throw it in the fucking garbage or open it. Keep it to yourself. It's a book. And I just left. I'm like, fuck you. There's no point. Like, I can't even find out who did not get his book. So I'm here. So I'm like, there's somebody somewhere that didn't get his book, and hopefully he'll reach out.
Right, and for this upcoming Succubus campaign that I'm planning, I'm hoping that won't affect my returning European backers because all those guys I think got their books. There was only maybe one or two that came back besides the Belgian one. And I think that was just for a bad address or like no one actually picked it up. But
okay,
it went smooth for the most part with my international shipping once the books went out. But this next campaign, I'm still going to offer a shipping discount. It just won't be as much the second time around because it's no telling what the shipping industry is going to do with their prices. So we as creators have to kind of brace for that impact every year. Every time we do a campaign, because you just never know. These people they can change their rates at the drop of a dime, just on a whim. You know what I mean? And they can make up any excuse that they want for it. So as someone that needs to ship out international packages, a couple times a year, it's rough to try to calculate that in the financial plan. You know what I mean? It just messes up so much stuff.
One of the things that I found in the beginning, I don't know if it changed with the new rules, but I used to use something called pre-relator, which is like your UPS. So if you usually open like a small business account with one of them, they like to offer you discounts throughout the year. So they'll usually start with a 30 to 40% on shipping international. And then if it goes well the next year, they'll offer you something else.
Like it's so like you can have this. The only problem is that they don't do PO box from the post office.
Okay, yeah.
They'll do their
Yeah, I
own.
didn't ship to a lot of PO boxes, so that'll probably be fine. But yeah, it gets brutal with shipping sometimes. So
Mhm.
it's just like, man, you got to watch that.
Well, and the thing that makes it suck even more is, just because we have to try to accommodate as much as possible with the prices, we have to just to make it happen. But at the same time, we don't want to alienate anybody internationally either, because anybody that wants to buy the book, please, we want anybody who wants it to have it. But then they go and throw all these curveballs as far as customs taxes, and then all the stuff that happened in Europe with the last year, or they keep hiking the prices up. We want to get them to anybody that wants to read them, but as far as international, they're not making it any easier for us, and that's incredibly frustrating, both on our end and I'm sure with the backers too.
Mm-hmm. That's why one of the ways that me and some of my friends we've reduced the pricing for. We could do it between Canada and the U.S. because I'm in Canada. We do bulk shipment. So technically, like I'll send like boxes, like 1 or 2 boxes or something, to somebody in the U.S. with all the orders for the U.S. prepped in advance. So when it gets there, he just puts them in the box, mail them. So it's like a remailing, and I've been able to cut like from 25 to 15.
Okay,
Between
that's cool.
Canada and the U.S. Yeah.
Nice.
But you need somebody you can trust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
just I'm Cole and I we're in Arizona, so for me to ship anything to just over the border to Canada is $25. And that's just going over the border. That's still on the same continent. That's not even going overseas.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. I've
Yeah.
said it many times. It's like, dude, if you remember before 9/11, we could just we can just go on one side to the other with no passport, no nothing. I could go, hey Rob, I'm moving next to you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. 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 Now it's
And
just
now
like,
it's $25, like we're crossing the fucking ocean.
yeah, it's $25 to send something across an imaginary line in the ground.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Takes me like an hour and a half to drive to the US, but I'm paying the same shipping to Europe. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that $25 charge if I was shipping from South America maybe to Canada, or even Mexico to Canada. But from Arizona to Canada, I can drive that in under a day.
Yeah, and before sending something to you was just gonna cost me an extra stamp. That's what it was. Like before, it was 1 stamp for Canada, two to 3 stamps depending where you are in the U.S. That was it.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's why talking about the digital orders again, the money that we get from digital orders go to the book. It goes towards being able to print, being able to ship. That goes all into the project, because it's nothing to email a PDF file. You're just basically helping us pay for stuff.
It's one of the things I always said. I see the digital copy, the digital cells as the shipping blanket.
Yeah.
It's the shipping blanket. Like in case there's a problem, well, that money's going to that.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and something that we did with the campaign anyway, just to kind of make sure everybody got something. Anybody that ordered a physical book got a digital download link, so you could read the book right away if you were willing to do so with your laptop or whatever it was.
Right. See, he makes a good point. It would be cheaper. Like, it's stupid. Like, you could just like head to my house and it won't even cost him $25 gas.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So it's
Look,
frustrating.
it got so stupid to the point that just to give you an idea how stupid it got here in Canada. I'm in Quebec, Montreal, right? So I'm in the province of Quebec. I'm saying, like, I had a customer that used to order me like prints every time I would have a new print, he would order them from my website, and I would mail it to him. And before, it used to be very cheap, but it went from costing me $5
for an 11 by 17 print, right? To costing me $16 to send from Montreal to Quebec City. Montreal to Quebec City. Not even outside of fucking Quebec.
Wow.
It's a hustle, man. It's a
Yeah.
racket. That's all it is. It's
I-
a freaking racket. Yeah.
I can attest to the outrageousness of that. It's been a while since I've been to Canada, but I was able to drive from Spokane, Washington, up to Canada, going all the way through it, and to Juneau and Alaska and a few other places. So I know for sure that, like, really, $16 for that distance. I drove between
Yeah.
the two cities and probably didn't pay that much in gas.
Like I said, like that's why I mentioned I'm in the province of Quebec, right? Montreal to Quebec City. It's like a max, maybe like 4 hour, I think, drive max.
Yeah, I think it took about 4 hours for between the two traveling for me. And that was years ago. I don't remember it so vividly, but it was within the same day. That's for sure.
Ransom shipping again extended cut.
Dude, I've been in this for
It's
so long. Yeah.
the director's cut. You got to have that.
Like
Yeah, no,
right now, it's
we're,
like it's the first time that
We're all
happened to
pissed
me.
off about shipping. Like if
I-
we could change those prices, guys, we totally would. But creators, we're getting screwed on the shipping, just like the backers are. So we
Yeah.
try to make it as painless as possible. But
Like usually when I send like my sketch cards to people, I put them in a like plastic and a little envelope, right? It costs me just a little bit of shipping, maybe like between $5 to $7 to mail, right? It's not the end of the world. But yet the other day, I haven't sent that in a long time, which is a big box with 2 11 by 17 original pages in there, right? I send them, they get sent back. Why? Because now we need a QR code for the customs.
Seriously?
Yeah, so each packages need a QR code to go through customs.
This is the first I'm hearing of something like that.
Uh-huh. So
yeah, well, each country is doing different stuff with that. I mean, I haven't heard anything like that that's going on here for the states, for Arizona particularly, but I haven't shipped any international packages since June of this
but
year.
make sure to check it because they all ask for like an extra paper for international. Make sure you file that up and that will give you the QR code type of thing. But you need to do that for every package.
Oh, great! That's just one more extra thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why my rant before was about the fact that they keep raising the fucking price. But now you have to set your paper, print your sticker, do everything the post office would do, and then you go there and they scan it. And you're like, what's the point then? Why don't you just come pick it up? I've done everything.
Yeah,
No kidding.
No, the post office here is comical because I do the click and ship, which I pay for postage and print it out here on my computer. But then I schedule a pickup, and I schedule a pickup for Tuesday. Tuesday came and went. It's now Thursday, still no post office, and I'm got like 70, 80 packages here ready to go out. And like, well, what the fuck is the point of you guys sending me a confirmation number and everything and not even show up the day of or even the day after and didn't get no notification or nothing? So I still ended up taking these packages to the post office myself to get shipped out, even though packages, postage has been paid, the pickup was scheduled, but they never showed.
Same thing happened to me when I set up a pickup for the boxes. They're like, yeah, we'll be there on that day. They never show up. I'm like, where the fuck are you guys? Oh, we checked and you're in a no pickup zone. I'm like, what? Yeah, the pickup zone got changed because COVID, and we don't do residentials. I'm like, what?
Well, don't you think that'd be good information to have before?
I know.
Yeah, no, they couldn't hit me with that BS because the post office guy said the mailman is here every day at my apartment complex dropping off and picking up mail. So I know that would be bullshit. It's been a couple times where I caught him when he was at the post when he was putting mail in the mailbox. Like, hey, I got this outgoing priority mail package that postage is already paid for and stuff. Can you just throw this on the truck with you to take it back? And they're usually pretty cool about it. They just look it over to make sure everything is in order. But I wasn't able to catch him when I had the big tote of 60, 70 something packages to go out. That would have been helpful. But yeah, so when I went to the post office and dropped off the packages, and then I complained at the same time. Oh, then the next day the guy shows up. Yeah, we got to pick up for like I already dropped it off. What the fuck are you doing? This is already gone. It's already gone. That was supposed to be that was supposed to be Tuesday when you guys supposed to pick it up. It's Friday. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So it's frustrating, but as long as backers know that we're not like we're trying to work with them on the shipping rates and everything, but it's just so largely out of our control. It's impossible.
Soul Sister, you said no, they got sent back because they were Blood Hunt original pages.
No, actually, they were Outlaw Knights.
Oh, we got Pops with us. Hey, Pops.
And Chris is going, fuck it. I'm gonna go through UPS instead of USPS and eat shit on international orders. That's the thing. It's like if you guys want to help out when you're using PO Box, make sure you put PO Box so that the creator knows, because they could save money on international shipping if they use UPS.
Yeah, I mean, and depending on the carrier service, some people don't deliver to PO boxes. Depending on the package and everything.
So, if you let us know, it gives us a heads up that we need to deal with the post office that you have a PO box with.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, because each country is different, which is that's not. I like you guys need to get on the same page with these shipping. With the shipping requirements. Like, it's a mess. It's a big mess. But if we keep the packages, small and light enough, but sometimes you get people who order entire collections of books, entire story arcs. So you got like at least anywhere from like 6 to 12 books going out in one package, and that can get up to about 2 to 3 pounds. But still, most of the stuff will fit into a mailbox or like the big package boxes that people have. But if it's an actual PO box, a lot of places won't deliver to PO boxes. If the package is over a certain size or dimension or weight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's stuff that you got to keep in mind.
And Rob, do you use something called stamp.com? Because there's a lot of people in the US that use stamp.com and they've been saving a lot of money with it.
Yeah, I started out with stamps. I didn't care for their software on that site because it kind of screwed me over. It was letting me do media mail packages, and then it just stopped offering that for out of the blue like 3 days in. And but the discount on there is really nice. But I wasn't too pleased with that with my first little trial run that I had with the software. So I might try to revisit them here again for Succubus, but there's some other shipping option sites out there that offer discounts that I'm looking into. But yeah, stamps.com, just for the discount alone, it's a good site. But I didn't really get along with the software.
All right. So saying to Sim, okay, in that case, I have to admit that I only backed Outlaw Nights after Sim got on it. Not that into the alcohol names on the bar picture, but I dig most of what that guy does.
Thank you. Thanks, bro.
Pops is saying he just got a page from Glenn Fleming's next Hatch book, and wow. Okay. And Soul's putting up Sim's Patreon link.
Oh yeah, go get on it. It's new. Soul's my first one. Now I'm up to 2 Patreon. What I'm trying to do here is something new. In case you haven't heard it, I have the regular Patreon like everybody of like $2. You just it's kind of like here's a tip. You get to see stuff before everybody else does. But the fun part is I did a Patreon for now it's $7, and that gives you access to an exclusive a Patreon exclusive webcomic called the Mona, and I'll do the same thing with republishing this my first Wolf Dragon book because it's part of the same universe. So for like $7, you're gonna get like a web comic that I'm gonna be putting together there, and it's only for the Patreon. And after each chapter of 20 page or so, you're gonna get a PDF of it. And when I do a crowdfunding for the campaign, you'll get a discount on the book.
Nice.
So I'm going to be doing the Mona. I'm going to be republishing the first Wolf Dragon in there. So for $7 a month, it's not that bad, right? So you'll get exclusive following on webcomic, and nobody else is going to see it until they're ready to go out, until the chapter is done with you guys. And I also put a $40 one. Sounds steep, but keep in mind you get access to everything. Plus, you get a sketch card every month from me, and you get to ask for the character you want.
Cool. Cool.
I dig.
Except for red dress, Chris.
Yeah, Chris doesn't want me to do that one, but just ask. He doesn't need to know about it.
Pops is telling you to check your Twitter inbox. Them.
Nope.
Let's see. Oh, we got Keely Chow. He says, they say, hey, everybody, what's going on? Oh, we was just talking with some new gentlemen here, Mr. Rob Hicks and Cole Music, about their campaign on Indiegogo, Feathers of Onyx. It's pretty cool looking. I dig the art and everything. Looks really good.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're all really happy with how this turned out. You know, because the biggest nail biters, you never know how it's going to be received. You know, but you know, any true comic book fan knows that indie comics is typically where it's at. Indie comics makes up majority of the the comic book industry. Actually, the mainstream stuff, you know, the big three, Marvel, DC, Image, like that accounts for like maybe 2 to 5% of the content that's out there. You know, very small
It just
percentage
got
of
more spotlight.
comics is superhero related, you know, or that comes out of the big publishers. The indie stuff is what's been kind of fueling the whole industry, you know, and that includes big name artists who used to work with the big publishers who are now often doing their own thing, you know, a la Image Comics. When Image started, it was a lot of the big name artists that came out of DC and Marvel that got together and did their own indie project. And you know, lo and behold, Image Comics was born, and you know that kind of revolutionized the whole industry. So yeah, I mean, indie comics, man, that's just kind of, you know, that's where my heart has always been. I know Cole has always been a big fan of indie comics. You know, I mean, I myself, I was interviewed. I got interviewed by Marvel and DC both at the same convention back in 2007. And I talked with a few of their art directors. You know, they did portfolio reviews on me, and basically they just, you know, they wanted me to see, you know, they wanted me to keep sending them updates of stuff and put me to this, you know, ready pool for artists that they can kind of use to fill in on backgrounds or covers or whatever, what have you. And it just never went anywhere, you know. And what I was like, I don't want to sit around waiting for you guys, you know, to like maybe one day they'll put me on, you know, backgrounds for whatever book, or you know, fill in on this panel for this page in this one book or something like that. Like, dude, I kind of want to make comics, and I want to start making them now. I don't want to wait for Marvel or DC's approval. So yeah, I just got out there and started doing my own thing, man. And you know, self-publishing is a world onto itself, but the learning curve is doable. It's not a steep curve to where, you know, if you don't make that learning curve, you're just screwed. You won't, you know, your book won't get published, or you won't have any kind of future in comics. It's not like that. It's the kind of learn as you go type of process. And what I was explaining to Cole is that comics is a marathon, man. It's not a sprint, you know. And we live in the age of you know, instant gratification, you know. So people just want to do something and put it out and expect all these great accolades, you know, and success, and it doesn't go like that. It doesn't work like that, you know. I mean, even that's if you happen to get your book published by a publisher, or if you self-publish, you know, it's a lot of stuff to learn that goes into it. You know what I mean? So, like when you guys said before, you have to be able to sacrifice a lot to be able to get to that point where, you know, you're being successful in the industry. And you know, it just takes time. You just got to invest some time and some patience, and be you know, like Cole experience, gotta develop a thick skin. You know, you got to be able to take constructive criticism and not get butthurt if, you know, your stuff isn't well received right away. You know what I mean? Or if it's not performing to your expectations. You know, all that stuff is kind of all encompassing. So, you know, so to see a project do well and be well received is always that's reward in and of itself for me and the people that worked on the book.
And that's how I feel about this one. I mean, I don't think everybody that's read it so far has submitted their opinions, but the one that have, it's all been very well received. People liked it, and some are already throwing that question out there. Oh, well, when's part 2 coming out? So that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, and we're looking for book reviews, guys. So if if anyone out there does comic book reviews or know people who like to do them, send them our way. We'll send them the PDF.
Oh, check out Kino Subway. No, Kimosabi.
Kimosabi, okay.
Son of a bitch.
I know, dude. It's been a while. Sorry.
Kinosabi is his name.
Kimosabi, and he does a lot of reviews, and he's very, very thorough.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
He's not a yes man, and he's not just gonna go, it looks amazing. He's gonna give you like what he likes, what he doesn't like on it. That's what I really like about his reviews. And yeah,
well, that's the kind of critiques and reviews that we're looking for. We love the biased ones and stuff that they all they sound great, but we're looking for the hard hitting honest reviews. You know what I mean?
Like Chris here used to do. Chris here used to do them too, but he needs to get back on it.
Yeah.
Get back on it.
I'll get around to doing reviews again. Dark Side is Gaming, Mr. Marinus. He says he does reviews as well.
Sweet.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Marinus. He's got a YouTube channel and he does reviews.
Oh, I want to address the soul here, Sim. You have to mention that your sketch card on Patreon includes worldwide shipping. Yes, it does. Shipping is included in there. I'm not going to charge you extra, a shipping fee for the sketch card. And the reason why I'm doing that's because it's a sketch card. I can just put it in a top loader and in an envelope. And that's the envelope is the only thing that's still cheap. Yeah, the regular size envelope. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't weigh anything. So yeah.
The more it's going to cost me is going to $8.95. That would be maybe the max.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I want to address here Chris here. They're saying that he has imposter syndrome, keeps me up at night. What if I invested all this money, time, and effort into this and it's complete shit? Everybody feels that way when you invest a whole bunch of your time and your work in it, because you're just wondering if people are going to like it, and that's it. Everybody goes through it. So it's just work through it and get it out there, get it tested, get it to people that, not family members, but to friends that that will tell you if your fly is open, if you're going on a date.
I get that.
That like to take puns at you.
I actually get that what if question a lot. What if I, just like you said, I invest all this time and I put it out there and it sucks or no one likes it.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to be willing to accept that. Okay, here's the thing. Do comics for yourself. Draw comics and do comics that impress you first. Okay. You can't really draw for anyone else or try to create a comic that you think other people like, because most people don't know what they like until they see it.
Yeah, so and don't compare yourself to them. Compare yourself to your previous self, so you keep getting better.
Exactly, but that's the whole point in sacrifice. So you're not. It's not like you're losing anything, even though your project or your book wasn't that great of a hit or a success. You still learned how the process works.
Yep.
Okay. You're still learning how to do a completed book. And you talk to Cole, you talk to like any of these any retailer that deals with self-published books or independently published books. A lot of these guys, they'll start it and then it'll never finish. They'll never finish it, or the book will never actually arrive, because they just they burn out or they realize how much work it is and they don't ever complete the project. So even if it's your very first book, you have to start somewhere. Okay, it won't be perfect. It won't ever be perfect, but you have to start somewhere. And if you let yourself start the process and complete it, finish it, follow through, it'll be your first book. It won't be perfect. It's probably just going to be a piece of shit, but it's something. It's done, and you can take that and build on it for your next project. And the next time you do it, it'll go smoother than the first because you learn what not to do and what to do from your first attempt.
One of the best advice I got
from... You can't be afraid to fail. People are afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to fail. It's all a learning process.
One of the best advice I got from Michael Turner,
was
Hmm.
one of our main problem is that creators want to create the perfect thing, like it has to be
Right.
perfect. And then
Right.
if you're focusing on that, if that's your goal, you will never publish nothing,
You
because
won't finish
never-
anything.
you'll never get done. You'll never get done.
Right.
So the first thing
Exactly.
he told me was like, you need to practice something called finish not perfect.
Hmm.
Meaning you set
Yep.
yourself a goal, it's finished. You give yourself a certain time, like you don't spend more than 10 hours on a page, let's just say, right? You have to give yourself this, because otherwise you'll spend 2 weeks doing this. Like
Yeah.
with Blood Hunt, I redrew the book twice.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Like literally, because I went in and going like, it was an 80-page book. It was my first long haul book. Like I always did like either like short stories or 20-pager, right? So it was a big long haul. And then you get
80 pages, that's
to the
huge.
mid
Yeah.
level of the book, my art got better. Stuff clicked in my head, right?
Hmm.
And then when I would go back, I'm like, oh, I'll tweak that panel. And I'm like, I just tweaked that panel. It doesn't fit with the rest. I'll redraw that page. And then you're like, next page. Ah, fuck. And then I ended up redrawing the book twice.
Yeah.
But, at the end, it still happened to me, but I learned something. Is it good enough? I'm done. It's done. Is it good enough? Does it really require me redrawing this? Because you're learning, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, if you're always learning, you're always going to go back and redraw the thing to fit the thing. And then you're going to go back again and then get better and you're going to do that again. You get stuck in a vicious cycle. So finish, not perfect. It's done. It's done. The next time, do it better.
Right. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to go back and redraw pages from Hooded Cobra, the first issue of Hooded Cobra. Like, to this day, it always pains me a little bit to look at my old work. You know what I mean? Because I just see all the mistakes and stuff that I could have done better. But like you said, it's done. It's not perfect, but it's done. But yeah, now hindsight, me now looking back on that work, I'm like, I could have done this on that page, or oh man, I should redraw this to look like that. Like, yeah, it goes on and on, but you gotta like just finish it and worry about the critiques later, but just get it done and then see what happened and improve on it. But if not, you're just gonna be spinning your wheels forever and nothing to ever actually get completed.
Mhm. And one of the big things that was kind of mentioned earlier, you compare yourself to, it's exactly what you said, Sim. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is yourself, and you can see the progress. Because if you compare yourself to your heroes or the people that you aspire to be like, you're never going to be happy with it. Because, for one thing, you can't be them because you're not them. You can take inspiration, you can get ideas, and that's all totally well and good and fine. You got to get inspiration from somewhere, but trying to be exactly like the person you aspire to be is never going to get you anywhere, because you've pretty much set this impossible expectation for yourself and you'll never meet it, and therefore be constantly disappointed. I made that mistake numerous times on other projects and I was never happy with them. Whereas, in the case of Feathers here, I feel like it was about as good as I could have done at the time. I'm happy with how it turned out. And the only milestone I have now is whenever it's time to work on part 2, I just want to make that one better than what we did before. And I think that's what everybody should just try to do, is exactly that. Don't go back and try to make it perfect constantly, because the perfect thing, that's not realistic at all. Not everybody's going to like everything. Not everyone is going to like what you do. But if you like it, if it's good enough for you, that's the important thing. Because if you don't even like it, if you don't even like it, how can you expect other people to?
I always get that advice to artists that come to me and say, I don't like what I do, and people do. And I'm like, that's because, guy, that's one thing, is that you are the artist. It's your work, right? So there's no way that you're going to look at that art the same way that you will look at the art of somebody you look up to.
Right.
It would always be better because it's somebody else's art that you love. Your art is yours. So you need to rely on the reaction of others.
You're gonna always see flaws in your own stuff. You're gonna always see mistakes. I do that to this day. Like I'm constantly doing that, but it's because I'm looking to improve and to impress myself when I draw. Or with any product that I produce, if I just get it to where it looks good to me, to where I don't see a bunch of mess ups with it, or it doesn't look weird or anything like that. Like the quality is there to where I think it gives a good stamp of approval for myself, and then I'm comfortable to share it. If I'm not comfortable with something I've done, it won't ever see the light of day, for anybody. But people just want to put stuff out there and they get all this praise for it, and when it's subpar, and you could have done better had you spent a little bit more time on it, or just looked at it from the perspective of, all right, this looks okay, but how can I make it look cooler? And then I'll share it once I get to the point to where I'm overly pleased with it when I look at it. When I step back and look at it, like, okay, this looks good. I think it's ready to go out, and be seen by other people, or to be shared. But yeah, just don't rush yourself, especially if you're self-publishing and stuff. Just give yourself borders, like a structure, but don't feel like you have to hurry up and get it done. Just go at a good pace, and like Turner said, don't spend days and days on one little page or one aspect of it, and it hinders the rest of the project. Just keep a good pace going, and just focus on impressing yourself, and your art to be better for it. Because you can't impress everybody. That's not the point. Perfection is a guide. Perfection is only a guide. You're never going to achieve perfection. You want to aim for that, but you're never going to achieve it, because it's enough is never enough. You can always do better and better and better, but that's kind of the point.
And also, and something big to add to that as well is, don't try to please everybody, because one, that's impossible. It's not going to happen. Not everyone's going to like everything. If, say, one person likes it, somebody else doesn't, well, maybe it's just not for them. There's certain genres of music that I don't like, but does that make them bad? No, just means they're not for me. Same way how there's certain comic books and whatever that I'm not the biggest fan of. That doesn't make them bad. It just means I don't like them personally. So just because however many people may or may not like whatever it is you're working on, that doesn't necessarily make it bad. It just might not be for them. If other people like it, okay, you probably did something right. Mm-hmm. So don't ever think that you're going to please everybody, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you won't ever make a book that's loved by the entire world. That's rare. Because you could be sitting on a book that could be potentially loved by the entire world, but then there's exposure. There's an exposure problem. You know what I mean? Like, most of us aren't being distributed by Diamond and got a publishing company as big as Marvel or DC throwing money at the distribution and exposure. So but you never know unless you keep pushing it forward and keep at it. You don't know who's looking at your book. You know what I mean? So that's why you always want to put your best foot forward with that. You know what I mean? And exactly what Cole said. It's just you gotta do it to where it makes you feel good about it. Critiques are going to come from everything you do. As an artist, we're our own worst critic. I'm my own worst critic with everything I do. So if I can impress myself, then anything some other critic has to say won't even hold a light to how bad I
and one important thing to always remember: don't stay in safe zone. Always push your limit and step out of that safety zone. If you hate you hate drawing cars, well, you do 5 pages of freaking cars.
Yeah, draw cars. Make yourself draw.
We got Bristolian Dave with us, or me Babbers. Let's see. So Sim should make a making of Blood Hunt audiobook that's just sounds of him struggling.
just leaning over the table trying to draw pages, and however many of these that get thrown at it.
The worst one would be those the 4 months of me waiting for that money. All you hear is me swearing.
You might not enjoy drawing vampire teeth now, but there will come a point when you don't need them anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Yeah, well,
says praise for.
that soundbite would just be of a lot of erasing and cussing and crying.
Mhm.
Probably the majority of the audio.
And then
Yeah,
where's the funds?
Dude, with that one, it was bad. Like 4 months and a half of like having funds sent and return, and I got charged every time. And remember, I'm international,
Ugh.
so every time they wire money, it's 25 extra. It was 4 months and a half of. Give me my money.
That's it. There's the Soul Ion right here. Just they're not into Dragon Ball. That doesn't mean that Suga can't enjoy it. Yeah, I'll admit
Yeah.
I'm a huge Dragon Ball guy, but I can see why other people might not be as into it. So, I mean, it did something right. People like it, but there's people that aren't into it either.
Yeah, you can't blame Chris for his bad taste.
Ben's fighting words. It's time for war. Now we're up for 5 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I never got into Dragon Ball. Like,
I like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I never got into it. I'm aware of it. I've seen a lot of it, but it's just never like kind of took hold.
Mhm.
But cool thing about comic books and a lot of pop culture stuff, there's literally something for everybody.
Mhm.
Like literally something for everybody in comic books as well as animation, especially anime, whatever you're into. You can find something that you like. It's just the point of having to look for it and find kind of see what you're into. But it kind of goes along the whole lines of self-discovery. If you like comic books, if you like reading comic books and stuff like that, eventually when you see enough of them, you'll find kind of the genre or the style or whatever that you're into. And that's so that I think that's the thing that's really cool about it. You don't really have to have a thing, because if you like comics overall or even enjoy comic book art, eventually you'll land on something that you're totally into and want to see more of.
Yeah, well, and it kind of go back to a previous point that you guys had mentioned about not staying in the safe zone. That's a good reason to work on a lot of different things that not only go outside the safe zone, but you might reach different audiences by working on different things. I'll post more about this on my socials when there's a bit more to show. I'm working on a horror comic right now that it's exactly that. It's just straight up horror, and that's a very specific audience in mind. There's lots of people that don't like it, the genre itself, but there's lots of people who do. So I'm already prepared for the inevitability that maybe some people who like feathers, they might not like this next book just because they're not horror people. So it's a dabbling into other things that you might not be as used to or do as much. You might reach a whole new audience that way. So
yeah.
It's something to consider.
Mr. Fist says, just because I enjoy seeing Mr. Spoiling die doesn't mean to. Gosh dang it, Fist. No, he's not going to die. He's going to live. Everything's going to be fine. Shut up, Fisk. Sim, it says to Sim, did you hate drawing Alf?
No, I love drawing Alf.
Marinus is leaving us. He says he's going to try out Deep Rock on his new YouTube channel, Dark Side is Gaming.
I like the reference. There should be a voice at the end. Dark Side is Gaming.
Dark Side. And Pale Riders finally showed up. About time. You're very late. We've been going on for a while now.
Yeah, it's been a good chat. Yeah.
Shut up, Pale Rider. Don't talk about. Don't bring up Mr. Sparling, Pale Rider. Let's see. So says Pale Rider, the rack with the guitar on screen is from Feathers of Onyx.
Yes.
And then Soul saying to Mr. Cole, he says, there are a lot of horror people around here. Yes,
Oh,
yes, there
absolutely.
is.
There absolutely are. But that's just something I'm totally prepared for. As you know, changing up genres for a project. There's people that are going to like it, and people that maybe not so much. But to all the horror people that are here, that'll be coming. And if you want some horror, it's going to be available.
Yeah,
So,
indie horror comics are fun. I haven't gotten into a lot of horror comics, but the few that I have seen, they've been a fun read.
mhm.
Uh, the ones that are well done, I mean, they kind of read just like any horror movie would. That's kind of all comics are, is movies on paper. So yeah, it's always worth taking a look at, especially if it's indie. I'm more likely to look at an indie horror comic than one that's published by a mainstream, because we can get away
Yeah,
with so much more with indie.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
kind of why I
And
wanted to beat indie, stay indie, because I do what I want, and for artists,
yeah, you don't have
our
to.
biggest thing,
You
we
don't
hate
have to.
being censored. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
never forget that Star Wars was an indie movie.
yeah,
That's true.
totally independent movie, and it
Mhm.
changed the world. You know what I mean? Like it's the power of indie is crazy.
No, most of
But
the movies, most of the great, movies that last for years, most of them weren't planned blockbusters. They were part
no,
of that, yeah, something that used to be called experimental movies.
mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm,
you had movies, you had horror movies that was a different genre and a different, entire industry. Same thing with
mm-hmm.
experimental movies. And experimental movies, that's where we got all those great movies like Aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah, and it came from the creator just staying true to his vision.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah, and that.
you got to take like this uncompromising approach to staying true to your vision and what you want to do, and keep it uniquely yours. Because if you're pulling too much from your influences or trying too hard to look or be like something that's already out there, people are going to notice that. It's going to show through. You know what I mean? So you have to just stay true to your vision, and put the best representation of that out there. And you never know it. It might catch fire. You know what I mean? Just
Even
like
in the 90s,
yeah.
some of the best selling books, like we're not even counting Image, okay?
Nope. Yeah.
Just go Lady Death, Succubus,
Yeah.
and there was She that was outselling a whole bunch of those big mainstream books way
Yeah.
before all
Yeah.
this, including Creed back then. Creed was a
Yeah.
huge success.
She held it on for at least the better part of a decade, man.
But Cerebus by Dave Sim, dude,
Yeah.
that book was on top of charts for a long time, and it was totally independent. One guy
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
friend.
One guy. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's the goal right there, man. That's the dream. It's like if you can, if your book, you put out a book as an indie guy that's going toe to toe with the mainstream
Mhm.
books. I mean, that's no small
And the
feat.
biggest ever, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started
Yeah,
independent underground. So some people say sold out,
independent.
but they sold the
Right.
rights, became a children's cartoon, and
Yeah.
then it went ballistic.
Turtles started out as an indie black and white comic book. I remember seeing it. I
Yeah,
was
the
in
turtles would
school.
drink beer, eat pizza, and listen to metal.
Yeah, and it was bloody. It was
Yep.
bloody. Whenever they fought the foot soldier, the Foot Clan, it was bloody.
And the
It
Shredder
was
was not
cut
even
up
the
and
main
everything, man.
character. It was just a
Yeah,
joke that they got forced to come back.
yeah, yeah. They well, when they sold the rights, they watered it down a lot
Oh, the books are
for the
here.
for the
I'll be back in
cartoon,
a sec.
but yeah. Um,
Super Shredder would approve of success.
Oh, let me see. Oh, we got Emma. Miss McLernan is with us. Says aloha. Miss McLernan is the one who did our logo, the Morning Grips logo. And she also did a book called Reality Hackers, and it looks great. Let's see. Oh, Gargoyle's still here with us. Says even the Crow.
I was going to say The Crow was another cult classic. That got turned into a movie. Yeah, that was another indie black and white book done by one guy. Yeah.
Doris Jones is with us. Hello, hello.
James
And-
O'Barr did The Crow. I actually met James 1 year at a show in Chicago, and had him sign a copy of The Crow. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Miss McLaren says this looks cool.
Thank you, sir.
Yay.
Yeah, so it's now you got 18 days left. Is this going to go in demand? I don't know. Can you do in demand with a flexible goal? I can't
I'm
remember.
not sure if I don't know if you can. This is my first time. This is my first campaign on Indiegogo, so I'm still learning all the things that you can, all the options you have with the campaign. But I'm not sure if you can do on demand with flexible. Maybe
I
I'll have
can't
to look
remember
into it.
because there was I remember there was multiple reasons people gave that they didn't like doing flexible goals. I remember one was because they were worried about like how people like customers would perceive the whole like, oh, you'll this campaign will receive all funds raised thing, even if it don't meet its goal. Some people might perceive that as, oh, this could just be people just they're going to take the money and run sort of thing because of
I get that. And that's we have on there on the campaign page here that the book production is complete. It just needs to be printed and packed and shipped. So, but you kind of have to scroll down a little bit to get to that point. But yeah, it's the stigmas are going to come with flexible. Stigmas are going to come with the all or nothing. It's always kind of roll of the dice. But with our campaign, I've done a successful Kickstarter campaign. This will be my second Kickstarter campaign that I completed. So, if you pledge to it, you're gonna get your book. I mean, we don't, I don't believe in doing that. I'm not gonna take your money and not send you anything. So, yeah. But I totally understand, people's reservations about that. I get it.
oh
I back projects myself, so I understand.
yeah, Mr. Fisk says you can do in demand with a flexible goal. He only just disabled it for his campaign. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that something you're thinking about doing? Is going in demand?
Yeah, absolutely. If that's what people would like, we can I can do it in demand. That's fine. Also, I mean, with this money, all of it's going towards printing anyway. So physical copies will be readily available once once the campaign is over.
And they said this was 20 pages.
Yep, 20 pages of story. Got 5 variant covers.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hit the main points again since we had some new people come in.
Sure.
And if anybody wants proof, they're here. They exist. They're here.
There they are. Yeah.
There they are. Look at that.
So, no joking around here. No BS. They exist. It's going on. We just need more copies.
Yeah. So what Cole has is that those are the Kickstarter rewards. So the books that I have printed right now are going out. That's for the Kickstarter fulfillment. So I'm going to be doing another run of printing once the Indiegogo campaign is complete, because I have to fulfill the Indiegogo orders and get the retail orders out. So because we have a bunch of comic book shops here in Arizona that are looking to carry the book as well. So.
Got some in Phoenix, some up north, some down here in Tucson, some in Sierra Vista. We hustled the crap out of this one.
I'm sorry, guys.
And yeah, also, I mean, if you guys, for your local comic book shops in your area, if you want to see Feathers carried there, just have them contact us and we'll get them out to those stores. So because we're not nationally distributed yet, so it's all kind of just contact us directly and we'll get you some books sent out to your store.
All right. And let's see what they saying. Everybody's saying hello. Good morning to everybody. El Gargo says an old high school friend was J.O. Barr's in-law. He got me a original head sketch.
Sweet.
That's rad.
Nice.
So it says Sim got some proof himself. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, this is
up on our Facebook page right now. I think on my page and Cole's page, we got video of Cole taking his first look at the physical book. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a whole different sensation to see them in person, and Yeah, the PDFs are cool, especially because you get to read it right away. But the physical book just it doesn't.
It becomes real when it's in your hand, you know, and
Yep.
that's when it makes it real, is when you're
mean
holding it
like
in your
this?
hand, flipping through the pages.
Oh, hold on, Sam. Hold on. Let me full screen you. There we go. There you go.
All the books just came in. I opened the 2 first boxes, so it's the variant covers for the next campaign.
Nice.
The books are all there.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about comics, so it's show not tell, right? There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cue the music, and then you enter the adverse.
Very cool.
I'd read it.
Thank you. I'll be launching a second chance campaign with those variant covers because since I'm international, right, in Canada, it's leaving a campaign in demand for a long time becomes costly. There's extra fees and extra charges.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
I
what I mean.
close
You
it, and then I'm
gotta
going to
work around your country's shipping,
Yeah, so
requirements or whatever.
I close it, and when I'm fulfilling, since we always notice there's an extra amount of sales when you fulfill, I decided to close mine. And when I fulfill, when all the books are mailed, I'm going to open up the second chance campaign so people can go, get a copy there.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. There we go.
That one up on
Spread
the
that
screen.
booty across the nation.
Yeah. The cover. I think that's A or B. I don't remember, but that cover on screen right now. Oh, it's B. So that's my personal favorite. That's my personal favorite.
And she kind of if the first person I think of in a way when I see her in some of these things is what's that woman? The Amazon, was it Zealot? Is that her name from like Wildcats or something?
Yep, Zealot.
I could kind of see that. Yeah.
Colors came out.
All right.
The colors came out awesome. I'm showing off the Scotsman one because it came out exactly like he's showing up on the web.
Yeah, man, it's a good looking book.
I like it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done geeking. I just got my book, so you know what that is. You said.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Hey man, no problem. We're all about shameless plugs. Like, go at it. Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to discover new indie books. That's awesome. Because my time is always stuck. Like I'm between trying to produce stuff and finish stuff and answer this, emails and run campaigns. Like, I have no shopping time. You know what I mean? So if any cool books that somebody can point me to, I'm always appreciative.
Actually, I was starting to do a little thing on Friday nights on my personal page on Facebook.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where I talk about indie comics, and I haven't had much more to do lately because a lot of it depended on a handful of Kickstarter books coming in at a certain time, and they haven't yet. So I'm just waiting for some more to review and talk about. I talked about this one, Feathers of Onyx, a few times just to remind people that it was coming. I talked about Hooded Cobra. I might talk about Succubus at some point, but there's a limited amount of what I can say and show on social media with that one because I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, you can say whatever you want. It's just that you can't show a lot of the artwork on it unless you have it, like, sticky tape, like the sticky notes covering up everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got to go to Walgreens anyway. I'll get some Post-it notes.
So this is a variant cover B. The cool thing with this variant is on the back you got this nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice close up of Zora on the back of it.
Yeah.
I have that original too.
Yeah, this is her and her monster hunting, one of her monster hunting outfits here. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. It turned out really well. I love this cover. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looks really good. Let's see, we got. So Pale Rider says he just made his first drink. since getting back 5 minutes ago, all is right with the world.
Woohoo! Yeah, you can see the interiors right there.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, they're done. They exist.
Let's see. Soul saying, Sim, knowing your mixed music taste, I'm happy that the cue the music page leaves it open to the imagination what is playing.
Yeah, it could be anything. That's half the fun about reading comic books is whatever voices and music you picture to be happening, it could totally be because there's no one to tell you otherwise.
No, Pale Rider. There is no Red Dress Diaries.
It says Red Dress Diaries. I'm curious.
There's nothing to be curious about. It's not existent. Non-existent. It's all.
What? Come on, Pale Rider. Why you got to do me like that? I wanted to know.
Yeah, Pale Rider. Why you gotta do him like that? Spreading lies.
I wanted to know. I was going to
you're
throw
asking
money
for it, Chris, right? You're asking for it. He's probably going to launch like a mailing list very soon for the Red Dress Diary comic.
Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the compliments on the artwork, Chris. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
El Gargoyle is saying this sounds really gay, but you did capture my erection.
That's probably not the. It's probably not the dirtiest thing.
I don't know. He probably needs to clarify. Like, did I capture his erection in a panel, or like is it one of the covers that's causing an erection? I'm a little confused.
He's like, wait a minute, I recognize that penis.
You remember that dick pic you got 3 months ago? That was him.
In page 2 of panel 3, page 2 of Succubus, you captured my penis exceptionally.
I recognize that mole.
Every wrinkle you managed to, yeah.
I did not agree to be used as reference.
It's probably not the dirtiest thing he's ever been told about his art either, though.
No. But it's still inspiring, you know. It's like if I'm getting that kind of reaction out of people from my artwork, that means I'm doing my job as an artist. Because art is supposed to, entice some kind of, emotional response out of people. So that's good.
Let's see.
Hey,
it's great. No, it's not.
You know what? Now, if there's not a Red Dress Diaries thing going on right now, as soon as we get done here, I'll go start writing it because I want to know. I'm gonna make it happen.
There you go. That's what I told you. See what you started, Chris?
All right. You're all want me to tell the story, apparently, in the chat. Basically, I made the mistake of telling a story in one of these live streams. When I was a guest over on Red Gazes, and it has haunted me ever since. Basically, I went for Halloween. I had a bunch of ladies I worked with overnights at Walmart back when. So for Halloween, they wanted me to dress up as a woman. So I acquiesced, and I ended up in a long red dress. I had like panty, what do they call it? The leggings, stuff for your legs.
Stockings, yeah.
Yeah, and like I think I wore heels, and they done up my hair and all that stuff. So I had to work in that. Well, no, I don't think I wore heels though, because I had to work, and So I went along with it. And of course I had to wear it all night, and this was when Walmart was still open at nights. Mm-hmm. So like while I was down stacking the skids and trucks, there was a guy who came down the aisle and seen me bent over, was checking my ass out until I got up, turned around, and he seen my beard, and he made this face, and he hurried up, ran down the aisle, and then when I was working my freight in the water aisle, there was like these two Mexican fellas, and they came up the aisle, seen me, and they got these really big smiles on their faces, like big, real toothy smiles. and they just kept looking at me. And I was like, okay. And then they walked past, and then they came back down. And after a while, they came back up. I was like, what are they doing? So
They were
eventually, I
smitten.
moved to. Eventually, I moved to a different aisle, and they followed me to that aisle. And this went on for a long while. It's like 3 or 4 aisles.
You
You
know,
were the bearded lady, man. They probably thought you were with the circus or something. You know?
that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
they
say.
were,
Like, you know, there's some ladies in Mexico that have a lot of facial hair.
they were
Yeah,
quite
they were
fascinated.
smitten. They were smitten. They were totally smitten by you.
I was like, am I going to need an escort when I leave? Like,
They're
good
like,
lord.
hey, that's weird, but I've seen worse. That's kind of interesting.
Hey, I mean that means you had a successful cosplay that day. You know, you look legit from behind at least. You know.
Yeah, at least I guess.
You just need to get the red wig to go with it, and you can be the best Jessica Rabbit at every convention ever.
Yeah, I had
bearded Jessica Rabbit. Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to think. There was other stuff that went on that day too, but I can't remember it offhand. I used to have a lot of crazy shit go on with that store though. Had a guy would shower naked in the bathroom. He'd go and get naked, start lathering up, all kinds of stuff.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah. But yeah, that was basically it. And then after that, like that's all I've heard now. Red dress Chris, red dress Chris.
Red Dress Diaries.
I will
That could
never
be a good.
No, you
Never live it
probably
down.
won't live that. That's going to stick with you for a while. You won't live that down for they won't let you live it.
No. No, they won't.
You know what? I might have to turn it into a spy adventure. You know, like the woman in the red dress, but
Carmen San Diego or something.
yeah, exactly. With permission
Everybody's a
for
fan
use
of a
of the
red
title.
dress. Yeah.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not even.
Sugar.
No.
Tarna, yeah.
We don't need to show Sugar Tarna.
Why don't
We
you
we
Sugar Tarna? You don't like Sugar Tarna?
no.
Sugar Tarna is great. I don't know why you hate it so much. Oh.
Yeah, that's supposed to be me in the top right corner doing the sugar rush there.
No,
Apparently, I got blonde hair.
that's not it. Share my screen.
Yeah, that's Sugar Tarna, as they call it. It's supposed to be inspired by heavy metal.
Penciled by
Okay.
Pale Rider, and I went in and did the colors on it.
That's awesome.
Sugar
I'd buy
Tarna.
that T-shirt.
It's on our store.
Well, now I
That's
gotta
why
buy
Chris doesn't like it because we made a shirt out of it and also made a skirt for people that have ladies.
Yeah, we have a little morning roast merch store that Sim set up where you can get like mugs and all kinds of other stuff.
Well, damn it, I gotta buy this shirt now.
But yeah, so I guess we've been moving on. We've been doing this for a long time.
That's one of our
For
longer
the-
streams. That's that's
Ooh.
good because that means that we've been having a lot of fun with those guys.
Yeah. No,
Yeah. Apologies to the guests. I try to let guests know that like if we ever go too long, with these things and you guys have things to do, just let us know and we can wrap it up or do anything like that. Like I apologize. I hope you guys weren't like, damn, we got things to do. We've been here all this time.
I still got some
Oh,
time.
no, yeah. I mean, I think Nicole has a day off today, and I mean, I usually don't get started on my stuff until later in the morning or like early afternoon anyway. So yeah, I had a few hours to kill this morning, so it's no big deal.
All right.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if anyone heard. My carpets were being cleaned the entire time this was going on, so
Nope.
I was multitasking.
Well, we couldn't hear anything from you, or you couldn't hear anything from us for like half the stream, so it worked out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I just received a 12-box order and nobody noticed.
All right. All right. So this has about 18 days left.
Yep.
Yeah. If you want, you could come back on the show before it ends,
Mm-hmm.
and we could promote it again.
Is that your first
Sure,
30
yeah.
days?
Yeah, I mean, we'll we love to be on. If you guys will have us, it's always great. As much exposure as we can get for the book is the more the better. So absolutely. We'll probably have that that black and white standard variant. Probably had that pop back up maybe the last couple days of the campaign to give people a chance to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe you could come on there on the last couple of days. We can promote it, try to get people in on that special deal.
Yeah, last 48 hours. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys,
we
appreciate
got a
it.
solid
Man.
bump. We got a hell of a solid bump just being on here for a couple hours. So that's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
We have
Thank
a
you.
great chat. Yeah, we have a
And-
great chat. They love
huge-
comics.
And huge thank you to everybody that has either already backed or did back it during this stream. It's freaking phenomenal to see, and we love you guys for it.
And plus there will be people who watch the replay. They might get interested, and you might have people maybe reach out and want to have you on their shows. So,
Hey, yeah, we love all the support. I'm always blown away by the amount of support and encouragement and everything that we get from the comics community. Comic fans are awesome. They're always supportive, and we're always, as comic fans, we're always hungry for that next new thing. That the next new cool comic, and we know it when we see it. We just never know when we'll see it. So yeah, it's always awesome to get that kind of feedback and get the support. So, and again, guys, if you're looking at prices and not sure if you can afford anything right now, no worries. Just share it. Just share it around, and that's just as good as throwing money at it. I promise. That helps us.
The more eyes that see it.
Yeah. So even like shows like you guys as willing to put us on and kind of give us some exposure to your fans and followers and stuff, that means the world to us. That's it's priceless. So we really appreciate that, guys. Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And also, I'm gonna have to tune back into more morning roast streams if they're all like this, because this has not only been fun, but it's been freaking hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's called the roast because everybody gets roasted on these things.
Thanks.
I'm good with it.
Love a good roast.
Yeah, but it's one of the things that we try to do with the stream is that we roast each other, hoping that it helps make the guests comfortable. Like you see us roasting, like Soul is considered our co-host, but he's in the chat. So that's how we see it. We're three on the show, so we keep roasting each other, and we've noticed that it makes you guys, the guests, comfortable and start having fun with us, and we decided to stick with it. It's a bit different than what other people do, but we have fun.
Yeah, it's all fun. Comics is fun to talk about and look at and stuff, and especially you get together with people who like comic books. You can sit there and roast and talk shit for hours. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
Sometimes we even do evening roast, but that's not as often.
Alrighty, yeah. So I'm gonna start to wrap this one up because I gotta eventually get some sleep at some point in time and get a bite to eat.
What is sleep? I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
on the night
Sim says to Sim, it's hard not to roast you when you explain basic stuff or even jokes.
Shots fired.
We have to mansplain everything.
Set me up. I gotta do. Well, actually,
we all have to put on our Captain Obvious hats and mansplain everything.
Yep.
So for those of you who like comics but can't read,
look at the pretty pictures. That's what matters.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody that tuned in the chat, and thanks Rob, and thanks Cole. Thanks for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. It's always great to meet new people, but then there's always like that. You never know what's going to happen. How it's going to turn out because they're strangers, right? So this one has turned out really good, really positive, fun, and the book looks great.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad we were able to get you a couple new backers and some people found a book they're going to like. This has been a really positive one.
Yeah.
had a lot of
We've
fun.
done a couple of these. Cole and I, we've done a couple of these interviews by now for Feathers, and you know they're usually a pretty fun time. You know, Cole and myself, we don't take ourselves that seriously. You can't, you know, it just makes for a
No,
boring time.
so,
You know,
well,
it's
because
all in good fun.
yeah, well, you can sit here and be like, I did the whole process while I was sipping tea, and I went through every single detail because blarty money mutual stock.
I'm already
All of
asleep.
these.
Right.
No, you gotta have fun with it. You gotta be able to laugh at yourself, and you know you take certain things seriously, but you know I don't take myself
take the
too
work
seriously.
seriously.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
it becomes a chore.
Well,
Right?
you take the job seriously, but
Yeah, we take the work we put out, we take very seriously, but you know, we don't take ourselves seriously. And plus, you know, comics is a goofy medium. I mean, comics are goofy anyway, so you know, it's like you have to have fun with it.
Like if you've ever been in a comic book shop or a gaming place and with a bunch of geek, that's pretty much it.
yeah, it's
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, there's the comic book shop that's closest to me is Dread Knight Comics here in Phoenix, and I know the owners. You know, I go there maybe twice a month just to hang out and shoot the shit, talk shop, like goof around. Like, yeah, it's a great time. Yep.
Yeah, same down here. The one Fantasy Comics is the one I go to in Tucson, and it's exactly that. I'm usually in there, same kind of thing, couple times a month. Buy some new books, BS with the owners, and laugh at the good things that are coming out, and the maybe not as great things that are coming out, and you know, even making fun of our own works sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, come on, Vasid. Really? This whole almost 3.5 hour stream, didn't see you in the chat at all. You pop in right at the end just to give me a red dress remark. Come on. But you can know that Chris will look great in the red dress. Gosh dang you, sir.
Sir.
The red dress diaries have spoken.
Yeah, and don't forget
you probably have to do it now, man. You're gonna have to do some kind of red dress something to follow up, because you're never gonna stop getting flack for it.
Don't forget, you also agreed that you were probably going to be doing a red dress press.
Oh, well,
I ain't talking about that. No, I didn't promise that. That's a lie.
Like, no, denied.
If the name's gonna follow you forever, you may as well profit on it.
May as well work
all right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Tomorrow we're going to do the evening roast. Should be doing an evening roast, so we'll see you on that one.
Real quick, you guys, you can catch me for anyone that's in Vegas. I'll be in Vegas this weekend, Friday, the 1st through the 3rd for Unicon. That's happening at the World Market Center, right behind the Golden Nugget, downtown Las Vegas. So,
nice.
Set up there at the Spiraling Comics booth. So check me out there if you're in or near Vegas this weekend.
Check that out. Then a little further down the line, I will be at Tucson Terror Fest, October 23rd, 24th that weekend. I'll have copies of Feathers available there, as well as some ash cans and previews for the next thing I'm working on. So plenty of opportunities to get a hold of this one, either in person or online.
Yep.
And me, I would like to add, don't forget to sub, like, and share. When we reach 500 subs, I'm giving away original art to a random person in the chat. When we reach 1,000 subs, well, Chris is going to join that red dress run in Louisiana and win it in our name. Recorded, obviously, by Pale Rider following him in his little Barbie Jeep. Meep.
Where's this happening, and where can I see it?
It's in New Orleans.
Yep.
Rob, I guess we have to go to New Orleans and set up a table and watch the red dress run.
Yeah, if that, or just get in on that live stream as it happening so we can roast.
And the book and Tales from the Universe 1 and the Tales from the Universe 1 books are all in right now. I just opened a few boxes, showed it live. I'm going to be going through them. Go check out my Patreon
And go
And,
back
hey,
this book.
those books look really good, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Congrats on your book. That's
Yeah.
that's a good job. Yep.
Thanks a lot.
I'm wrapping this up before the chat ends up bringing up any more red stuff that I have to
Yeah, man.
deal
I
with
was
for
just-
these
Give me
guests.
comments for
For these
give me
guests.
So
comments for the
let's
win,
go
you
out,
guys.
everybody. Don't forget to go promote 1,000 sub Red Dress Run. Hashtag Red Dress Run.
Shut up, Seb. I thought you were gonna
Without
say
feathers.
promote Feathers of Onyx. Gosh dang it!
I
I was
already
like,
said
yeah,
to go
yeah.
back Feather of Onyx.
Oh,
Come on, you
son
had
of
to
a
expect I was going to throw something else too. Go back.
All right, everybody.
I'm
I'll
interested.
talk to y'all later. Bye.
All right.